Ferris wheel or go-kart to add to the family experience. VIP hospitality passes to the Legends Club are still available. Buy your tickets now at WeatherTechRaceway.com.
Where are you on your financial journey? Wherever it is, Safe Credit Union has a checking account made just for you. Jason Ross here, and I can tell you with 4 different safe checking account options, one is sure to fit your needs. And with easy, secure, and personalized service to early paydays, overdraft protection, and exclusive members-only perks, safe checking accounts truly put you and your financial future first. Find a safe checking account you will love at safecu.org/checking. Safe Credit Union is insured by NCUA.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, KHTK-AM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento, the only station in Sacramento giving you local sports coverage from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday.
Sactown Sports.
Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
I'm Christopher Lott with your Sactown Sports headlines. Yesterday, the Sacramento Kings announced that they signed center Neemias Queta to a standard NBA contract. The past 2 seasons, Queta has had a 2-way contract splitting time between the Stockton Kings and the Sacramento Kings. For more on the signing, check out Sactown Sports Kings insider Frankie Cardicelli's report on SactownSports.com. The Oakland A's will try and avoid the sweep this afternoon when they host the Texas Rangers. Austin Pruitt will take the mound against Jordan Montgomery of the Rangers with first pitch scheduled for 12:37. Those are your headlines. Now let's get back to Whitey and Watkins.
They're going to take it for a W.
At your desk, on your phone, in the car. It's a show specifically for you, Sacramento. Whitey.
She got a new song out of this anyway. Hoops, I did it again.
Hoops, I did
so
it.
That's right. Hello, is this on?
Nope.
Watkins.
I'm sorry. I know I don't want to be the wet blanket on everybody.
It's Whitey and Watkins, and it starts.
Hurry up!
Now.
I have to point something out here. I got to start with Christopher Lott. Don't you think, Christopher Watkins? We had every day we do a little video. We try to do a video about, hey, what's coming up with the show today? And today we tried something. We tried a Dude Perfect-esque stunt, and it was one take.
One take. That's how
I
we do it.
don't want to tell you what happened, but Christopher Lott nearly made the shot of all time.
Yeah.
I mean, he really, all things considered,
Pressure.
one try, no practice.
None.
And
Chris crying that I'm going to hit him with a baseball bat.
There was a hostile environment.
yeah.
It was lot of pressure.
It's not going to go viral or anything because it didn't, it's not like it didn't go exactly the way it could have. But all things considered, honestly, it was a really impressive effort.
It was a great shot. It was a great shot. Dude Perfect would if they see the tape, they'll be calling Chris's phone real soon because
no doubt
it was a good shot. It was a really, really good shot. And I have confidence that moving forward, he'll just get better and better. And
That's
as
scary.
will
Isn't
those
that a
videos,
little
it's
scary?
really scary, especially it's like seeing a child prodigy. It's like, oh my goodness, if this is what he's doing right now, imagine a couple months from now when he gets some practice, when he really dials it in.
Unflinching.
Kid's gonna be a problem.
Like, okay,
man.
throw
Kid's
it right
gonna be
here.
A problem.
Well,
I know.
right?
Called his shot.
Hey,
He said,
I told you where I did it. Right here.
Yeah. I think you threw it a little bit low, and I think that's what affected it not being a perfect shot. But man, I mean, the kid is special. Kid is really something.
Nothing that we know of was broken, so that's
we know of. Yeah, and if anything was broken, it wasn't us. There's no way.
Oh, there's absolutely.
no way.
Yeah. Me and my buddy once we were in college, we were throwing the Nerf football around San Francisco near the Panhandle, and we knocked down some wire. I don't know what it was, but you never know. What kind of wire it is. So the cops came out, and so we're throwing the football, and he's going, "Yeah, we'll take care of that." And the guy, one of the cops says, "Hey, you guys didn't knock that down with a football, did you?" And I didn't say anything. My buddy goes, "No." And he goes, "All right, I just had to ask." I'm like, okay, play on.
Yeah. Us with a Nerf ball? Come on,
We're so stupid standing there with.
Literally, it's just like, why did you just
this-
move like 100 yards the other way? Like, don't stay at the scene of the crime. Like that is like, come on, that's criminal 101 right there.
Yeah,
I guess they always return. But.
Speaking of football, I think Hard Knocks done. I mean, whatever you want to say it, jump the shark, whatever term you want to use. It wasn't, I'm not saying it was awful, but it's like, I think we're done here.
Yeah, I mean, it's I don't want to say it's a tired recipe, but I thought the first episode was fine. It definitely was not, groundbreaking television like it's been in the past, but I don't know if I'm going to watch every episode this series. Like, maybe if some more big story, they address the Sean Payton thing and, all the stuff that we've seen so far in training camp. But yeah, I don't know if this is going to capture my attention for the next month and a half or so.
Yeah. We're not going to show you anybody getting cut, but we are going to show you that they're going to fly in the narrator and he's going to talk to Aaron Rodgers. Come on.
Yeah, they really made that into a massive deal.
Can't have the narrator on. You can't fly him in and have him talking to the team.
Yeah,
to me, a line has been crossed.
Yeah, I mean,
it was done here.
It was definitely ridiculous, and I think even the narrator said, like, I wanted to just drive in, but the producers insisted that I get a helicopter, and
Is that your Liv Schreiber voice?
Yeah, that was not my. No, I don't know how he does that.
The first preseason game is 2 days away.
that was pretty good. That was pretty good. I feel like they really were thinking that shot was going to be really cool and like this is going to be a really big moment. Everyone remembered that Aaron Rodgers was like, the only thing I'm excited for is to meet the voice of God. Like it was as someone once astutely said, very, very corny, very cringe, incredibly. And everything else was besides that, it was an Aaron Rodgers love fest, honestly, which I could definitely do without, but and if anything, I am more and more believing your narrative in Mr. Rogers being a great guy, because he just seems like he's really doing and saying all the right things over there in New York.
Maybe he knows, hey, I'm here in New York in the fishbowl, and this is a chance for me to kind of
massage the narrative,
change my the narrative about what kind of guy I am here, and maybe make some money off it too.
Absolutely.
Or maybe he's just genuinely a nice guy after spending 3 days in the dark.
Yeah, maybe. Like it's just really strange because they even address it. Even some of the players address it during it. They say like the narrative about Aaron Rodgers that the media portrays is not true, and it's like,
and when they say that, they're talking about you
apparently. But the thing is, like, this dude's been playing for how many years now? And it's just really strange to me. I mean, I know, sure, whatever. This can be a massive conversation about how media portrays people and we don't get the full scope of people, but I don't know. I don't think that narrative became the narrative by accident. Like, he's played into it throughout the years, and it's just, it feels really, really different how he's acting in New York. And he's becoming a lot more relatable.
I think part of it is the last few years, he's probably become, perhaps rightly so, a little paranoid. Like, I'm in this organization, but they're already planning to replace me.
Right.
And that's just part of good team management.
Yes,
but still,
is.
I'm Aaron Rodgers, and they're trying to get rid of me. They're not drafting players I want. They've already drafted this guy to replace me. And now in New York, he's like, he's the greatest quarterback we've ever had.
Literally. Everybody, every single person. This is so, like, the first 5 minutes of actual practice that they show of practice is just coaches being like, oh my God. Did you see that throw?
Exactly.
I've never seen this before in my life. I think it was either the linebacker or the cornerback coach. It could have just been a defensive meeting in general. They're showing film of like a goal line play, and they're like, guys, we're playing this defense perfectly. This is perfect. But this guy just makes a great throw. And they're like, and you know what? He's ours. He's our quarterback. This is our guy. And I've just never seen a defense just be like, this is awesome. Like, we're getting torched here, but this is pretty
pride,
cool.
Right?
It's really strange.
I don't care who it is over there.
Strange. It's
knock
really
the ball
weird.
down, make a play.
It is cult-esque. Like, they really are putting on some tinfoil. Maybe Aaron put something in the water or something, but they are very, very kumbaya, and they love Aaron Rodgers over there. It's
whatever works.
Yeah, exactly. It's working for them.
Is
poor Zach Wilson too. I'm just like, everybody raving about Aaron Rodgers and just like, we've never had anything like this before. And poor Zach is like, hey guys, this was me last year. So, I like to think he was not okay. But
Aaron's going to take him under his wing, though, and
a lot of it.
He'll benefit from this too. We all will.
I'm sure.
As a culture, Jets fan or not, you are going to benefit.
Yes, Mr. Rogers is here for everybody.
Yes,
he's everybody's quarterback.
That's the message.
He's all-time quarterback. He's everybody's.
Now, let me ask you this: why is Neemias Queta here?
Man,
Kings announcing last night they signed Neemias Queta. Standard NBA contract. Surprised me a little bit.
Definitely surprised me too.
What does this mean for the organization? Why is he still here?
If I had to guess, I mean, he did really, show out in the G League last season. And if I had to put some pieces together here, I guess I'll say that it's, competition, and that's what they're looking for. Is they're trying to get an answer at that backup center spot, and the best way of doing it is by making it a true competition and seeing who you evaluate as the best option when you exit camp. I think, with Nerlens Noel, Alex Len, now Neemias Queta, and we presume that Trey Lyles is going to get a majority of his minutes at the backup center. It's going to be a true competition, and they're going to try and find out, because that was a big hole for them last year. Who can play? Who can steal 15 to maybe 20 minutes on a good night at that backup center? And, I guess that it's just for the sake of competition. And Neemias definitely, he brings some rim protection. I mean, average 1.9 blocks last season in the G League, but I've got a lot of questions about his mobility and his, just his ability to be an NBA player. For
Want to hear my 3 theories?
Please.
And these are all,
Please.
Almost
That's the only
all
theory
speculation. One is this just occurred to me. Maybe there's somebody somewhere in the organization, pretty high up, who just thinks this guy's going to be great.
Sure.
For whatever reason.
Sure.
That's possible.
Yeah. I've heard
also
a lot of people be positive on him, by the way,
Yeah.
throughout the years.
Yeah, especially if you have any interest in watching guys come through the system, because he was G League runner-up for G League MVP last year. 2, this is an indication that the whole deal with Nerlens Noel, somebody feels like, that'd be great, but there's with his injury history, we might not be able to count on him, so it'd be nice to have another big. And then 3, we know the Kings need better defense. And Neemias Queta, he was like all defense in college 2 years. He was all defense in the G League last year.
Yep.
As you said, he's not sitting back there like Dikembe Mutombo or anything, but he has been a pretty good defensive player. And for a team that needs defense, you could do worse than to have at your end of the bench a guy who's been known for defense, even though he hasn't really established himself as a great defender at this level yet.
Yeah, for sure. And all of those make sense. And
They've got like 7 backup centers.
That's the thing, is it's just like, I don't know. I also have a lot of questions about Neemias Queta, the player. It's a lot mainly about his movement and his ability to play at an NBA speed. I mean, it's not like, he's playing center, so it's not like he has to, have the most foot speed, but especially if he's going to get switched out on the guards at any point, that's going to be really tough for him. And, we saw last year, though it might not have been a fair matchup to judge him by, he had to go against Joel Embiid for about 3 minutes, and he picked up 3 fouls and really looked like he didn't belong on the floor. Granted, that's literally going against that season's MVP, but you just would have liked to see some more signs of life there. And, he's had ample opportunity, even, in this summer league and in summer leagues past, to show, a level of being a step above the rest of the competition. And, with the exception of his G League seasons, we haven't really seen him compete at a high level against NBA talent.
He played 5 games last year.
Yeah. Yeah. They got to look at him. And that's the thing. That's why I'm so confused, is I feel like at this point, we kind of know what Neemias Queta is. I don't think that there's going to be some massive leap from him that where it just kind of clicks. Like he's just kind of a really lumbering guy, and he doesn't really have the mentality either. That's been a big thing for me when I watch him, is just, this is a guy who's way bigger than most of the people on the floor. And at no point, or rarely, does it feel like he's ever truly dominating with his size. I'm not trying to not be too negative on it, but I don't think that this is going to end up, I don't think he's going to end up being the backup center, is more how I feel. And if he's not, then this has always been my question. What are the Kings keeping him around for? Like, what's the benefit of uplifting and bringing up somebody whose ceiling is potentially a backup center? It just feels like you can better utilize that development spot.
And as of right now, they have 1 two-way slot left.
I believe so. Yeah.
You have Slauson in there. You have Keon Ellis. You have Folsom Lake Ford.
That's somebody who I thought could have potentially gotten this roster spot, especially, he's been around the league for a while. I guess they're going to potentially bring him in on that 2-way slot, but I would have probably liked to see Jordan Ford get this, but it's fine. It's whatever. We're talking about such small like this is literally the 14th, 15th player off the bench. Like, I'm not going to be too upset about it.
Did you see all the people the Warriors are working out?
I did, yeah. Dion Waiters was on that list. Some
Toscano Anderson.
Toscano Anderson. Yeah, very, very interesting. Yeah. I think
a lot of guys.
Yeah, a lot of guys, and a couple of them make some sense. But yeah, I thought it was interesting that they're holding that workout for sure.
It's almost like the GM Dunleavy was having trouble on the immaculate grid. I got to bring these guys in and find out who they played for.
Yeah,
maybe they might be able to help me solve a few squares. Up next, who's the 49er backup quarterback this week? According to the depth chart, take your pick. Next, Whitey and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
It's Whitey and Watkins on Sactown Sports. The Kings preseason schedule is out, and Sactown Sports has you covered. Preseason stops include Vancouver, Anaheim, San Francisco, and Sacramento, with matchups against the Raptors, Lakers, Warriors, and Jazz.
Monk in attack mode, drives inside, right to the rim. Oh, that's the dagger right there. I think the Warriors fans sensed that with that breakdown, the Warriors look like a defeated ball club.
Catch all the action on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
Are you tired of your tee shots ending up in the adjoining fairway while the rest of your foursome is hitting it down the middle? Well, experts will tell you that being properly fitted for golf clubs will help you strike your drive center cut. The Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio and its team of trained PGA professionals are ready to help you get rid of your banana balls and duck hooks. Hagen Oaks Indoor-Outdoor Player Performance Studio fittings are available 7 days a week. Make yours today by calling 916-808-2531. That's 808-2531.
Bonneville International Radio Station contests are open to participants at least 18 years of age and older that are residents of California and who reside in one of the 6 counties that make up the Sacramento metro area, unless otherwise specified. Employees or agents of the station, Bonneville International Corporation, other area radio stations, or any entity associated with the contest are not eligible to win, unless the station otherwise specifies in its own discretion. Persons who have won in the last 30 days from a station contest or event may not be eligible. For a copy of the general contest rules, visit khtk.com.
Check out Whitey and Watkins now on YouTube. Search Sactown Sports and watch the show from your desk.
On the chat, IPH Wet Blanket Wednesday. The wave emoji. Happy Wet Blanket Wednesday.
It is. I didn't even think about that. I didn't have anything prepared. I'm sure something will pop up that I can poo-poo on.
Yeah, I asked Chris earlier before the show, excited about Wet Blanket Wednesday? Not really.
That thing is so dumb. Wet Blanket Wednesday is so stupid. It's just a dumb concept. It's just, I don't even get why we do it. Like, it's like, you want me to be negative? Come on. That's
Campio
dumb.
Silva. Queta's on the team because the Kings have a trade in the making. Crossed my mind.
Wow.
And I know you're the one that said that by the deadline, or maybe you said at the deadline, they're going to make a big.
Sure. Yeah. I don't know what that move would be or how Neemias Queta would solve that, because, I mean, unless Jason Ross was breaking news earlier and said they're trading Domantas Sabonis, which was a joke. I don't know how Neemias helps with the trade at all. I don't think he has really much of any value, to be honest.
Somebody thinks
I don't want to wet blanket his trade value. But
yeah, there you go.
I don't know. I mean,
it just comes out of him naturally. You don't have to prod him. Hey, Wet Blanket Wednesday. You're going to get it at some point.
Exactly. Yeah. No, I don't. You can't label it. It just kind of, it's got to naturally happen. And I don't know. Like it just doesn't make sense. I'm really honestly, like, when I saw it, I thought that it was a wrap. Like, I thought, especially once they signed Nerlens, and I know Nerlens is just on a training camp guarantee, like it's an unguaranteed full contract, but I don't know. I thought we had seen enough of Neemias Queta to kind of know that, and especially looking at his, he had a good performance in this summer league, but for the most part, I didn't really feel like he's taken many steps up. And I'm not saying he can't. I think the dude's got some talent for sure. And, he's definitely shown some production on the defensive side of the floor. It's just like, it's really, really tough to have, especially as a center nowadays. Like, you got to be really, really mobile. And I don't know. Plotting centers aren't really the wave right now.
No, they're not. They're kind of like dinosaurs.
They pretty much are. I mean, yeah, there's a reason why the Kings waited so long to go to Alex Len on the bench. Like, those kind of centers just traditionally don't work. It's a good, change of pace, but
the floor is spread now, and it's like, we're gonna pick and roll you. Yeah.
He's got to move a lot. He's gonna have to move a lot,
or you got to be in drop coverage, offense, and then
and he doesn't have a jumper. He's just like he is a very traditional center. And
good thing for him that you're not
really
the GM
tough.
of the team.
It's great for him. It's absolutely phenomenal. And I've heard really a lot smarter basketball people than me have been very complimentary of what they have. Doug Christie even has said how great he thinks Neemias can be. He's got some passing ability that we haven't really seen. It's really just for me, it is really only a question of his mobility. Like he's shown ability to
he has been
be a shot
defender
blocker. Yeah, exactly.
At every level except this one so far.
Seems at the moment he's like that 4A kind of player where he's clearly, second in MVP in the G League. He's clearly very capable of handling himself at that level. But when it comes to the NBA level, I have a really tough time seeing it.
River Cats used to have a ton of those guys, like early 2000s, guys that were like MVP of the Coast League.
Yeah.
That just can't quite cut it at the next level.
I remember I think his name was Chris Carter. Didn't they always have
Chris Carter?
Yeah. I feel like
pop.
he was on the River Cats forever, I felt like. There's always a couple of those guys in the NBA too. I feel like Neemias could prove me wrong. He's got some mobility, but it's just a little bit. He's got that Bambi, like a little awkward. Looks like a baby deer sometimes.
Can I share with you a thought I just had? A kind of a, what do you call that when you have a moment of a revelation? What is that?
An epiphany.
Thank you. Couldn't think of it. Appreciate it. Had an epiphany on the 49ers quarterback situation yesterday. I know at this point for some people it's like, 49er quarterbacks, but we're going to be keeping our eyes on it. They got the joint practices with the Raiders.
Yeah.
Exhibition season coming up, at which presumably they'll determine who's who. And interesting on the depth chart, backup quarterback. It's Trey Lance or Sam Darnold. It's like they're both listed.
Yeah.
Who's the number 2? Trey Lance or Sam Darnold?
This is the biggest cop out ever. It's just like you can't pick.
But one of them's going to start this week.
And that's what I'm saying. We're going to find out.
And then we'll just,
I guess,
see what happens.
I guess so. I guess that's what the mantra is. It's just pick one. Like I guess it's just a cop out. I don't know why.
Just
how are you going to
out
put
of their way to try to say we don't have any favorites here yet?
Sure. I guess.
Okay,
for sure.
But here's what I realized. I don't want to mention any names. Somebody was on with us last week saying this, and a lot of people say it. That person isn't here right now to defend themselves, so I don't want to say their name, but also that a lot of people say this. The idea that the 49ers need to get a really good quarterback in there. They've got this great offense. They've got a great defense, but it's silly to think you can win a Super Bowl with a guy who's like, okay. Mm-hmm. But here's the thing with this offense. I really believe this. This offense is not like one of those jets that would break the sound barrier where you'd need like Chuck Yeager. Okay.
Sure.
I'm going to go into the right stuff here. You needed a really good pilot for that thing or he'd die.
Sure.
Yeah. But when they built like the rockets, the Mercury and Apollo and the Gemini rockets, you just needed somebody to sit in there and press the right button.
Right. Absolutely.
Remember the astronauts were like, we need a window. You don't need a window. We don't even need a person in there. You're not a pilot. No, we need a window. So, okay, well, and those guys, obviously very brave, but that's the kind of offense Kyle Shanahan has.
Yeah.
We don't need Chuck Yeager in there. We need somebody to press the right buttons at the right time.
It's a great metaphor. Yeah, no, 100%. And that's completely true. Like they don't need somebody who's going to go out there and make all the plays. I think that was the idea for Trey Lance, is that he would be somebody who can, expand the playbook even further than what it is. But in reality, if you're running Kyle Shanahan's system, it's proven to already be good enough to get you to a certain level. And that's an incredibly high level. Like you're saying, you just need the guy who's going to put it into the right places, into the right people's hands. And
don't
let
get me
those
wrong.
guys do the work.
I'm not saying anybody could do that. I'm just saying
it just makes it a lot easier. Exactly.
Yeah, necessarily a quarterback with elite skills across the board.
100%.
You need a guy who knows which areas to focus on and excels in those particular areas.
Mm-hmm.
Getting the ball out, keeping everything moving on time, knowing where the ball's supposed to go.
Yeah.
Press those buttons when they light up on the control panel.
Absolutely.
So you don't crash into the moon.
I think that's a great way of saying it. And it's a thought that I've had, but I haven't been able to express it as wonderfully as that. Because
I appreciate that.
It is like with Kyle Shanahan, it feels like he's better off having these, I don't want to say mid-level, but these guys that don't want to prove their abilities, if that makes sense. Like Trey Lance has all of this massive arm. He's got ability to run the ball. That's fine. That's great. Like 31 other teams would love to have that level of dynamism. Look at that. I got the word right that time. But with this offense, it's just, hey, do what I need you to do and don't do anything else. Yeah. And for a lot of quarterbacks, I think they struggle with that. I think it is like you end up hearing all the narratives, game manager. Oh, how good Brock Purdy. He's a tier 4 quarterback. I don't think he's even a tier 3 quarterback or tier 2. A lot of people will say, okay, let me go prove what I can do. And it ruins or messes up what you should be doing, because it's right in front of you. The game plan, the blueprints are right in front of you. Just do what Kyle has drawn up, throw it to where he wants it to go, and the rest takes care of itself with the weapons they got.
That's great.
It's fantastic.
If you have a very strong arm, that's great. Right. But those are secondary in this offense to boom, 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 making the read, getting it out.
Yep, 100%.
And if you can't do those things, the other stuff, as far as Kyle Shanahan is concerned, it's backwards. You got to do these things first,
especially with the talent they have, right? Like that's what the roster is built to do. Like you save money on quarterback, and you can go out and get all of these ridiculous playmakers that they have. You can afford to have Kittle, Debo, Ayuk, McCaffrey, and Trent Williams as well. Like all of those guys make this offense incredibly easy if you're a quarterback, and really all you could do is mess it up by doing what's not right in front of you.
Holding the ball too long.
Yep, exactly.
Throwing it in the wrong place, missing open receivers.
Yeah, that's and it's emphasis on open receivers. Like you just got to do what many high-level high school quarterbacks can do, is just hit the wide open guy. Don't try and make it harder than it is. It might not be glamorous all the time. You might not get all the credit for everything, but give the ball to your playmakers. It's really that simple. Be a point guard. That's really what it is. Be Ricky Rubio. You don't have to be, Kyrie Irving.
Yeah, think if you're Kyle Shanahan, you're setting things up. We're running the ball here. Now we're going to run the ball here. Sweep. Then we're throwing this pass. This is all setting up this play, which we know 5 plays from now is going to be wide open. Then you get to that, and the guy's wide open, and whoever the quarterback is, like he missed him.
Yeah.
We set this up, and we had the guy wide open, and he didn't see him.
I mean, it's tough. Like, that's where I think ego comes in, is like, these guys are like, this guy is wide open for the check down right in front of me. But I think I have the ability. I think I have the arm strength to throw that deep post, and I can make that play. But in reality, the play for this offense is just make the simple thing, make the simple throw, hit the wide open guy.
Don't throw it to the other team.
And don't turn the ball over. Exactly. Right. And if you do those things, then the 49ers will be that rocket, like you're saying. It'll take them all the way to at least to the NFC Championship
I'd love
game.
To see what Trey Lance can do if he can master all that stuff and then bring those added dimensions to that. I'm rooting for him. I think the odds are against him, but I'd love to see him make that happen starting this week. Coming up next, did you hear about the NFL team that's complaining because one of their coaches is too intense? Have you heard this bizarre story?
No.
We have that for you next. You
Oh,
might want
boy.
to think about what team. Guess which team.
Okay.
Like they've actually gone to the head coach. Hey, you got to talk to this
so it's an
coordinator.
assistant. Oh, boy.
Can you just talk to him?
Okay.
That's weird. And it's next year. Whitey and Watkins on Sactown Sports.
Whitey and Watkins. Sactown Sports.
Catch the Oakland A's every weekend on Sactown Sports. Friday nights, Saturdays, and Sundays.
Thinking it's going to get down for a hit. Around third to score is Tony Kemp. And the A's have taken the lead. Edge of the track makes the catch. And the Athletics get a great win.
Sactown Sports, your weekend home for the Oakland A's.
Sactown Sports coverage of the Oakland A's is brought to you by Xfinity 10G, the next generation network.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Byers Leaf Guard Gutter System and Roofing.
I'm Tamara Berg in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. It's Wednesday. We've got a comfortable start to the day. May even want a layer to get by for the next couple of hours. Under mostly sunny skies for the afternoon, expect daytime highs upper 80s to low 90s. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
Wildfires can easily engulf vulnerable homes. Safeguard yours with the Byers Fire Protection Package. Our one-piece seamless leaf guard gutters, roof shingles, vent covers, and more will help prevent disasters when wildfires hit. Learn more about fire hardening your home at thatsbyers.com.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave, and I recognize, just like my friends at American Energy Heat and Air, that your time is important. And that's why shopping for a new air conditioner is now easier with American Energy Heat and Air's online quoting tool. All you have to do is go to AmericanEnergyAir.com and get an instant quote right now. It'll help you determine what system you're going to need to get. It'll provide the best pricing options, all from the comfort of your home without having to have somebody come to your home. You know how annoying that is? They come in and everybody there is so sweet and nice, but how much better is it to be able to get it on demand? Visit AmericanEnergyAir.com. Check out how easy it can be. Or if you want to give them a call and talk through what your needs are, 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Sactown Sports
Headlines.
I'm Christopher Lott with your Sactown Sports headlines. Yesterday, the Sacramento Kings announced that they signed center Neemias Queta to a standard NBA contract. The past 2 seasons, Queta has had a 2-way contract splitting time between the Stockton Kings and the Sacramento Kings. For more on the signing, check out Sactown Sports Kings insider Frankie Cardoselli's report on SactownSports.com. The Oakland A's will try to avoid the sweep this afternoon when they host the Texas Rangers. Austin Pruitt will take the mound against Jordan Montgomery of the Rangers with first hit scheduled for 12:37. Those are your headlines. Now let's get back to Whitey and Watkins.
I hate to go here, but I'm a big Chris Watkins fan. I am. Very talented, great guy.
Wow.
You were just yelling at little leaguers.
I might have just called it. I think
Not a bad name or anything, but you did.
I called the kid an idiot. I did. To be fair, kid was pretty stupid. Like, it's runners at second and third. Guy throws home and he just stands on the plate and shows the ump the ball. Like, dude, you're in the Little League World Series. You should know by now.
Second and third, squeeze play. They bunt, and then the pitcher picks it up, flips it to the catcher, and he doesn't realize it's not a force.
It's not a force. And then the kid bunted and ran to second because the catcher was like, no, I have the ball. And then he tried to tag the kid after he'd already scored.
He was just shook. Safe,
oh
and then he's like, he tags him again. Dude, he's already safe.
Man, kids are stupid. Jeez. Clearly, there's no S2 cognition test to get into the Little League. There you go. See, the pitcher just tagged. Come on.
Boy, this umpire takes his time.
He does. Oh, my God. I would be the most obnoxious Little League ump ever. I would try and upset all the parents. I would loser.
This week, it was either yesterday, it might have been the day before, the Phillies and the Nats were playing, and they had, an umpire was sick or something, so they'd call up a AAA umpire.
Yeah.
And he made 3 calls in the first 2 innings that were overturned. Like
that's
first base, outer save at first base. 3 in the first 2 innings that were overturned.
Yeah.
It's like, man.
Sounds like a 4A umpire right there. The speed of the game is just too much.
Maybe you need to go to pharmacy school or something.
Yeah. I think this isn't for you, my guy. Like, that's a lot of it's not almost embarrassing. That's incredibly embarrassing.
How do you and then
you're not that guy,
there.
Exactly.
You're not that guy.
And then the next time you'd probably, if it was me, I'd just I don't know.
I'd be like, you know what?
You tell me.
Yeah, I'd be like, the last 2 times y'all said I was wrong.
Right.
So it's like
You're
one
so
of those
smart.
where it's like, yeah, exactly. Y'all,
ask your computer.
You guys go ahead. Every time I say something, you guys always yell at me. So why am I even here? Okay, you guys make the call.
By the way, nothing against pharmacy school. I think that
it's a very
really good money.
It's a very noble thing to pursue.
Different than being an umpire. On the YouTube chat, IPH says my grandpa got Chuck Yeager's autograph. Well, that's pretty awesome.
Any relation to Dave?
No. Don't know.
No.
Let's see here.
Dave Yeager.
Yeah, I got you.
Different spellings for us.
Yeah,
I apologize.
Yeah.
I didn't deal with that very well.
Spelling,
yeah, I should have done better with that. Epic Airby says Jeff Teague's comments are cool to hear. Basically, Fox's speed and play exposed his need to move on from the NBA. What did Jeff Teague say about De'Aaron Fox?
He said a lot of things. Pretty much just that. Yeah, I mean, De'Aaron he faced He said De'Aaron made him realize that he had to go to the bench. He was no longer a starter. He said Darius Garland was actually the one that made him want to retire. But yeah, he was like De'Aaron just running with him all game. And like, I think they had Kyle Guy on the podcast with him. And so it was Kyle Guy who was just like talking about how De'Aaron has like,
you're not that guy, Kyle. Trust me. You're not that guy.
Has like an elite change of speed. And Jeff was just like, yeah, that was the thing that really killed me, was just trying to keep up with him for like 30 minutes in a game. And, you know, it's one thing how fast he goes. That's already hard enough. But then he'll switch directions on you. And he's like, my knees just like couldn't handle it at that point. And that's when he knew. He was like, I can't put major minutes up anymore because these kids are crazy, which I get, you know, I watch De'Aaron sometimes and I'm like, how is this dude like, how is he real? Like sometimes he's so fast, and yeah, his change of direction, his Euro steps, and now he almost plays slow and like can speed it up at times. Like he uses his speed more as a weapon now, and I have no idea how
he said that he dunked on Fox because he's like, I don't even know why he's going after me. He's like, oh, I dunked on him, and then he just started coming after me.
That's one of the reasons why so many of the guys that play for like 20 plus seasons, so many of them, not all of them, but so many of them are bigs, because, you know, you're a guard out on the perimeter.
Right.
And you lose
a lot of,
you know, he lost half a step. You lose half a step in the NBA.
You're done.
That's it.
You're done.
Pharmacy school.
Yeah, exactly. No, really, it really is. Like, yeah,
you're on the perimeter.
Yeah.
If you're big, you can compensate.
You can compensate. Yeah. Smarts or just size, strength. Yeah. I mean, it's I mean, in general, the league is getting a lot more movement based, and it's not boding well for anyone who's older or just a little bigger too.
Anyway, thanks for being with us. Thanks for all the comments. 339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. Want to give us a call, shoot us a text, of course, YouTube chat. Here's the weird NFL story. Ron Rivera, who's a great guy, Cal guy, very accomplished coach, probably should have won a Super Bowl. He opened his press conference today with a prepared statement.
Never good.
It was a prepared statement regarding comments that he made about Eric Bieniemy, the offensive coordinator, yesterday. Yesterday, Ron Rivera said some offensive players with Washington struggle with certain things Bieniemy has been doing since being hired this offseason. They were a little concerned with his level of intensity. The head coach said yesterday, and some of the players are concerned about the level of intensity they're seeing from the offensive coordinator.
What?
Yeah.
Usually you hear that from the defensive side. I don't think I've ever heard offensive coordinator being too intense.
Today, Rivera said he loves the overall message that Bieniemy has sent to players.
Sure.
Boiled it down to, we have to learn to be comfortable when we're uncomfortable. I don't understand any of this. To me, I thought part of being a football player is coaches are going to be intense and they're going to yell at you.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Eric Bieniemy's, you know, he's been a coach a long time. He says, yeah, you know, I'm after guys, but I explain to them what I need. I communicate with them. And for the players to go to Ron Rivera, hey, could you talk to him? I don't understand what's going on here.
Yeah, this sounds like some just like textbook millennials can't handle, like what you know, being yelled at and real coaching essentially. I feel like this what I'm hearing from Bieniemy here is just like some good old fashioned football coaching where, yeah, I mean, they'll be on you for everything. They're not going to tell you like lightly. He's going to tell you how he feels when he feels it. And sometimes it's not going to come off nice. And, you know, if anything, I just think that that's kind of how I would expect a football coach to be. But I guess not anymore. I guess people can't handle it.
Two-time Super Bowl winner, Eric Bieniemy.
Right, exactly.
Eric Bieniemy says, well, every running back hears the same word, finish, on every carry. Bieniemy says, finish. He says, I want guys to clearly understand we don't take anything for granted. You see me pull players and have long discussions with them, so we're always on the same page.
Sure.
Yeah. He says he's a tough, hard-nosed coach. He says Eric Bieniemy is a tough, hard-nosed coach.
He did not use third person.
Yes.
Don't tell me he used third
person. Yes. Eric Bieniemy is who he is, says Eric Bieniemy.
Oh, gosh. Okay.
I understand
Red
I'm going to
flag.
be the biggest and harshest critic, but also their number one fan. I got their back all the time. So Rivera today said that he told Bieniemy, he said, yeah, you know, I put my foot in my mouth yesterday. I don't even know why Ron Rivera brought this up in the first place.
Yeah, that's why would he bring it up to the media, even if players did come to him? I mean, you had to have known that there was not going to be spun in a positive light.
And if you're the head coach, don't you say, you know what? Deal with it.
Yeah, deal with
He's
it.
the coach.
What
He's
did he
really
say? What did he say? He said your footwork was wrong? Well, was your footwork wrong? Well, then I don't understand what you're so upset about.
Oh, you know what? I'll alert the media.
Yeah,
thanks.
exactly.
I don't get it. Ron Rivera's a smart guy.
It's really strange. And I wonder if, Eric Bieniemy was a guy who, as Chris mentioned, 2-time Super Bowl winner, had tons. Like, I think he interviewed for like half of the NFL at this point for head coaching jobs, and he's never been able to get one. And it makes me wonder if this is maybe his reputation. Maybe he is somebody who has a reputation of being too intense or something, because it never made sense to me why the guy who orchestrates the most explosive offense in the NFL couldn't get a head coaching job anywhere if it saved his life. And he didn't get an upgrade. He just ended up going to a different team because they gave him an assistant head coaching role for a guy who could possibly be out the door. I thought
I saw somewhere that he'd had 15 interviews. Yeah,
I think I saw that.
He has interviewed for a head coaching position 15 times.
That's insane.
But has yet to land the job.
Yeah, that's crazy.
His predecessor, Scott Turner, more low key. Is he related? Is that like
North Sun? Yeah, it is.
Yeah. He was fired after 3 seasons. Players complained about the offense, and now they're complaining that.
Well, do you want to suck or do you want to have tough practices?
They've got to understand we're in a grown man's business.
Exactly.
And I know it's kind of cliche, but I mean,
I agree.
Pro football.
Yeah,
I know that. And I'm a pro football player.
It must be different. He must be hazing people or just being straight up like rude, because I just don't understand how this is anything. Because you're right. Like, this is the NFL. It was my understanding that these guys knew that part of being in the NFL or just playing football in general is getting yelled at, and it's not nice. And, football coaches rarely mince words. Like, they usually are very brutally honest, if not too honest. And I just can't believe it. It doesn't really make sense to me that it's too much.
And today, to put a bow on it, Ron Rivera said, I think the understanding of it is just the fact that I think everybody's making, in my opinion, a little bit more than needs to be made of this. And why is that,
Why
Coach?
is that? Maybe it's because you brought it to our attention, Coach. You ever heard of keeping things in house, Ron?
He does admit. He says, I went to Coach Bieniemy. I said, I put my foot in my mouth. So that's not a rookie head coach.
No, it's not. Yeah. It's not.
I thought they were
great.
cleaning things up in Washington. I thought they got a new direction.
Yeah. No, I think maybe I don't know. I can't.
This
maybe
is clown
he's
show
being too mean.
football.
It really is. I mean, if they want to be better too, like getting in Eric Bieniemy and if you're going to change the culture of what's going on, you got to do something different. And, being held accountable is probably a good thing for improving your offense. Like, I don't understand why this is.
And I know
why
times
this
are
became
different.
public.
And these guys they're the best in the world. But
Maybe
Pop
not on
Warner,
the
if I went,
Commanders.
did you play Pop Warner or high school? Can you imagine going to your head coach and going, Coach,
he's being so mean. He's like, he keeps yelling at me. And
could you just talk to him?
He can just tell me, like, I'm a grown man, Coach.
How many laps would you have to run if you did
all
that?
of them, all of the laps, all of the laps. And I'm telling you, it would just be like, well, what did he yell at you for? Well, were you doing it?
He's really intense. Can you just talk
Okay,
to him?
well,
I'll talk to him right after you get back.
yeah,
from running.
when you're done.
Yeah, you're 16
Run
miles.
until you throw up.
Okay,
please.
yeah, we'll talk then.
Yeah.
Okay, good luck. Root for
sure.
Ron Rivera.
Kids are soft these days. Come on.
Up next, in at least one way, the Giants would be actually a perfect fit for Shohei Ohtani. That's next. Whitey and Watkins on Sactown Sports.
Whitey
and Watkins
on Sactown Sports. Will Brandon Ayuk emerge as a star in the Bay this season?
Not going to throw for the end zone, wide open, Brandon Ayuk.
Can Fred Warner lead the Niners defense to another deep playoff run?
And Fred Warner with the INT.
Pick City, baby! Will Brock Purdy hold on to his starting quarterback job?
Purdy going to drop back to pass, try to run forward and go to the end zone standing. Down and Purdy, baby.
Tune into Niners at 9 every day on the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
All new spring deals are here at Lowe's. Start planting your garden this weekend with Bonnie 11.8-ounce vegetables. Buy 4 for $10. Plus, liven up your patios and decks with fresh blooms. Select 1.5-gallon hanging baskets or 2 for $20. Lowe's knows spring. Lowe's knows home improvement. Offers valid through 5/17. In-store only. Actual plant size and selection varies by location. While supplies last, excludes Alaska and Hawaii.
Relive racing history with hundreds of historic race cars at the Rolex Monterey Motorsports Reunion, August 16 to 19. Hundreds of the best, from the high-revving Formula One Ferraris and Lotuses to the ground-pounding thunder of the Cobras and Corvettes. Meet legendary drivers, indulge in delicious food and refreshing beverages, and take a spin on the Ferris wheel or go-kart to add to the family experience. VIP hospitality passes to the Legends Club are still available. Buy your tickets now at WeatherTechRaceway.com.
Whitey here reminding you that not all grills are created equal. Enjoy the prime grilling season today with a new lifetime warranty Napoleon Prestige line of outdoor cookers. My personal Napoleon P500 series gas grill has turned me into a grilling pro. Napoleon Prestige grills, versatile grilling for every occasion. Form, function, and luxury can come in the same package. Just go to your local Green Acres Nursery and Supply for the best selection today, or visit Napoleon.com for a dealer near you.
Y'all ready to do it again, Sacramento? Country in the Park 2 is coming to Heart Health Park at Cal Expo Saturday, September 9th with Cole Swindell, Chris Jansen, Dylan Scott, and more. Plus, a mechanical pool, line dancing saloon, and all the food. Tickets start at $40 or grab your Coors Light Y'all Access passes for $125. For more info, visit SactownSports.com. Country in the Park 2. Brought to you by Shane Company, Attic Man Heating and Air Conditioning, and the United States Marines.
What would it take for a plumbing company to earn your trust? Jerry and Kenny here from Bell Brothers. And let's face it, plumbing and service companies don't always have the best reputation.
So to earn your trust, the first thing they'd have to do is actually answer the phone when you call with a real live person. Then they'd have to send a plumber when you needed them, day or night, without charging extra for emergency services.
A trustworthy plumber would show up on time, wearing a clean uniform and name badge, and be able to show that they had passed a background check and drug test.
A plumber you could trust would give you a firm quote on the job before starting and clean up after they finish the job.
That's exactly the plumber you'll get when you call Bell Brothers. A plumber you can trust. Call Bell Brothers right now for all your plumbing needs. Our number is 916-444-1234, or find us online at theNoSurpriseGuys.com.
The No Surprise Guys, Bell Brothers.
I suffered with plantar fasciitis for almost 20 years.
I thought that foot pain was going to be with me for the rest of my life.
If you suffer with plantar fasciitis, the search for pain relief can feel like an endless and hopeless ordeal.
I would try drugstore, insoles and supports.
I've been through surgeries, foot injections.
I was trying all different things. Not a single one worked.
If you think you've tried everything to relieve your foot pain, you probably haven't tried arch supports from the Good Feet store.
And then I was driving past the Good Feet store, and I thought, why not? Give it a try. They wanted to make sure that they gave me the right arch support for my feet. Then it was like, okay, this is different. These make a difference.
I don't have foot pain anymore. I'm so glad I met Good Feet. It changed my life.
See how Good Feet arch supports work for you before you buy with a free fitting and test walk at the Good Feet store.
The Good Feet store. Come in now for a free arch support fitting and test walk.
Download the Sactown Sports app and listen to Whitey and Watkins on your smartphone.
We have an update on a story that we have been talking about this week. Skip Bayless is looking for a partner since Shannon Sharp said, see you later. When we reported this week or shared the information that Richard Sherman looks like he's going to be part of the panel.
Yes.
And now we have more news on who's going to be part of the undisputed panel.
Yeah, very interesting. It seems like they're going to, instead of having like a primary, what are the panelist is the word that they like to use, which I had at least assumed that it was going to be Richard Sherman full time. It will apparently be Richard Sherman will appear in what is said to be 50 to 100 shows per year, mostly during the football season. And that's according to the New York Post. While during basketball season, a more NBA-focused panelist will appear most often. And I assume that'll be Rachel Nichols, as well as, this is very random, but it's included in this piece, as well as Lil Wayne. Lil Wayne will apparently also be a regular panelist on Undisputed now. Doesn't really seem like
I think they should go with Skip and Co.
Skipping. Yeah, I mean, I think that's a.
So it's
that's
not
a
all
great
of them
model.
at once. It's every show. It's skipping somebody.
Yes.
But it's Richard Sherman. It's
Rachel Nichols.
Yeah.
Wheezy. And then I guess they're also looking at either, what was it?
Keyshawn Johnson and Michael Irvin.
Keyshawn Johnson or Michael Irvin, which is also some interesting candidates. Not really. I don't dislike Keyshawn or Michael Irvin, but he can be a little much for daily consumption. So I don't think I'll be tuning into Undisputed anytime soon. Is
filling in San Francisco. I was on a show where he was a regular on Mondays, and so I got to do a handful of interviews with him, and he brings it.
He's spirited.
I mean, yeah,
he's very, very spirited at all times.
He's not like real filtered. Like, well, I don't want to address that. He's
not afraid. No.
Yeah,
him and Stephen A. are definitely one and the same. They're quite a tandem together, and I'm actually kind of surprised to see Michael Irvin's name included in that because I know that they're really close, but. For sure. I guess they got to bring in somebody who's gonna, bring in some eyeballs, and I guess that those are some good candidates. I could see those debates being spirited, but then those debate shows just I can't do it. Sports debate is the hot take culture is too much. Can I wet blanket hot take culture? Please?
Sure, please do.
Great. Yeah.
Based on what I've told you already, would it surprise you to know that on the few occasions when I've talked to Michael Irvin, I repeatedly bring up the NFC Championship game where Deion Sanders broke up a pass where he clearly interfered with Michael Irvin and there was no call. I bring that up to him all the time.
I imagine
he doesn't
he's
like
not
it.
happy.
He doesn't.
Especially Michael Irvin. Yeah. I'm surprised he
he's-
doesn't just like hang up on you.
He,
MFU.
and with him, it's always there.
Yeah.
It's like, oh yeah, I remember that. It's like,
Yeah.
why are you bringing that up? That's all I
Yeah.
ever think about. So
You're just
Like,
an
have fun with
antagonizer,
people.
man. No,
you gotta have fun with
you
these
like
guys.
to have fun with people, but you do it in you're like, oh, super, super nice.
You wanna
And then
get a
it's
reaction.
like, let me make fun of the worst possible thing in your life. That'll be the one thing that I really
Once you
harp
get
on.
to that, then either we're fine or we can never talk again.
Exactly. At least
So
you
it's-
find that line really
Right.
quickly and you're like, all right,
Right.
I'm going here.
Right.
Is this cool? Like, it won't ever get worse than this.
Yeah.
But
let's see how they react.
if I
to
go
this.
there,
okay, we're good.
how's it going? If it goes, yeah, exactly. It's a bold strategy, but it's I respect you for being consistent as well. I mean, it's not just Michael Irvin. You've told me in the past you've done some things with some
Lorenzo
others.
Neal?
Yeah, Lorenzo Neal, and
only you got to, only the right type of guy.
exactly.
To go,
Yeah,
oh,
you can't just do it to anybody.
Yeah. Oh, you.
Yeah.
You
wanna go?
rapscallion.
Yeah, you asked the wrong. You messed with the wrong guy, and it might be go time.
That's when I'll have to call you and Verlad. I need you guys to have my back. Now I need you if you really are serious about considering becoming a baseball fan.
Yes.
If you're even serious about considering it, you got to watch Shohei pitched against the Giants.
Absolutely.
He probably is the best baseball player ever.
I mean, if you say so, I mean, if that's high praise from you. So if you're going to say someone's the best baseball player ever of all time, and that's you saying it, then I mean, I got to listen. Got to watch.
To be honest, my whole thing with him was, well, he doesn't play in the field, but I realized yesterday as we talked about it and looked at how his WAR is higher than anybody else, even though he doesn't play in the field, he probably could. It's not that he can't play in the field. It's not that he's limited.
Yeah.
It's that
it's too
he
mainstream.
can't afford to.
Yeah.
Because he would get hurt because then he can't pitch.
He can't
could
be
probably be
amazing.
a gold glove center fielder.
Probably could.
Once I realized that, it's like, I give up.
Yeah, it's tough.
I got nothing.
You got something, but it's not, again, it's just not, I don't know if it's a winning argument, but you could still, if this were a debate class or something, you could definitely form a nice presentation.
Maybe.
I don't know if you would end up winning the debate. But.
Interesting piece in the Athletic from the great Andy Baggerly. He says that, the Giants have kind of a non-traditional pitching rotation. And he says that would be perfect for Ohtani. Alex Cobb, who used to play for the Angels, says it can be difficult being in a rotation with Ohtani because you have to have a 6-man rotation. And then Ohtani, he doesn't take a day off before he starts.
Right.
He's out there playing. So if he gets hurt or something gets tweaked or he misses his start. So if you're one of the other pitchers, it's like, okay, you're pitching today. Well, it's not my turn. Well,
too bad.
Okay, you got to pitch.
Yeah.
So he says it's kind of hard, and a lot of guys have a hard time with it. But with the Giants, the way they start so many openers, things like that, it would probably work really well for them in their rotation to have Ohtani slide in.
Yeah.
And it's been suggested that Farhan, that's a real selling point for him when he
assumingly meets with Ohtani in the offseason.
Right. Yeah.
Says, hey, you come here. We're already set up for this.
I could imagine how that would actually be a really good selling point for Shohei. I mean, yeah, if any other club that he would go to would have to pretty much completely reorganize how they have their pitching rotation, that's a massive, massive adjustment. And while obviously Shohei Ohtani is somebody who's definitely worth, considering doing that, it's a lot easier of a selling point to say, hey, like, you can really hit the ground running here. Like, we already have a fundamental system here that is, pretty much already doing this. It wouldn't be that big of a change. It would be as smooth of a transition as possible for you, where we already know. I mean, if you're going to go to LA or, the Yankees or something like that, it's going to be tons of outside distractions anyway. Wouldn't you want your baseball experience to be about as smooth as possible? I think that's a legitimate selling point for sure.
I just think when it comes down to it, I would bet a lot of money on this. He's going to the Dodgers. I think he's always wanted to go to the Dodgers. I hope I'm wrong. I think the only reason he went to the Angels is because they had a DH and the Dodgers didn't, and it's Southern California.
Yeah.
I think his mind is already at least 80% made up, and obviously he's going to talk to teams and see who's going to offer him crazy money, but he's going to the stinking Dodgers.
Yeah, it really sucks because if Ohtani goes to the Dodgers, I think I might have to heavily consider them being the team that I try and, invest my time into. Like, it's
what
I might have. I've already given it some consideration. I don't want to do it. I have not watched a single Dodger game.
I promise. King of all bandwagon jumpers.
You might as well. I mean, like, if I'm gonna get into it, it's gonna have to be good baseball, and especially with a freak like that.
As the show judge, you cannot be an LA fan and be a Kings supporter.
You talked to Jay Mars about that?
But he was born into it. This is you physically choosing it.
Well, then, I mean, at that point, then I have to be a Giants fan.
You don't have to be a Giants fan. You just can't be an LA fan.
You can't be an LA fan just because they're getting Ohtani. My goodness, man.
I will allow if Ohtani goes to anybody else.
Yeah.
Even the Yankees?
If he stays with the Angels, because they're kind of Anaheim, I will allow that.
I'm not watching.
I am just almost speechless.
It's if you want me to get into it, I mean, watching the best team would probably, maybe I'll be cursed. Like, if anything, y'all should want me. What team that I support has ever won? Huh? Maybe it'll be a positive. Maybe I'm doing everybody a favor.
You know what? That's a fantastic point.
Thank you. Chris, United.
I do. He picked one of the greatest teams in soccer history, and they haven't won in 10 years since he started watching them.
Since I started watching them, they've won one.
Maybe there's an upside to it, but
I'm telling you,
flabbergasted.
Anybody
with a capital flabber,
if anybody can bring down the Dodgers, it's me. I promise you, and I will fall on that sword for everybody else. I hate
I need a break. I need a timeout.
Hated the Dodgers my entire life, but.
But I'm going to root for him starting next year if they get Ohtani.
I considered rooting for the Padres last year after they got Soto. I was like, this might be like, if they're real. I'm just looking for exciting baseball. Sue me. Sorry. My bad.
How Jimmy G is a dangerous matchup for the 49ers this week. That's coming up in the 49er Focus.
Talk more about 49er
Definitely
quarterbacks.
Need to talk some football here. Coming up, Whitey and Watkins on Sactown Sports.
It's Whitey and Watkins on Sactown Sports. Need the latest on your Kings?
And Nerlens, in all fairness, I mean, he can protect the basket. Very unselfish player.
Looking for the freshest scoop on the Niners?
Trey Lance not being on the roster is an option for them. Why else would they have 4 quarterbacks around? But I don't think it's the most likely.
Want to find out the latest on the MLB playoff race?
I think Bailey has kind of been the glue to put this all together because you got to have an elite catcher to make a run at a late playoff push.
For all that and more, check out SactownSports.com.
There was always a crowd gathered around our dining table when I was growing up. Hi, I'm Frank LaRosa with a word about Naturewood Home Furnishings. Everyone was welcome at my mother's table, so holidays, birthdays, and celebrations always included family and friends. I used to think I was the most popular kid in the neighborhood until I realized that my friends were really there for my mother's incredible cooking. Years later, when I bought my own dining table from Naturewood, I made sure it was large enough to make friends feel welcome. And right now, during Naturewood Home Furnishings' Dine in Style sale, you have an opportunity to find the perfect dining room furniture to help you create your own treasured memories. Choose from casual to formal or anything in between. Visit Naturewood Home Furnishings during the Dine in Style sale off Highway 50 at Hazel. Look for the water wheel.
3 little words no parent wants to hear.
My tummy hurts.
And it always seems to happen at the worst times, like in the middle of the morning rush when you still have homework to check and lunches to pack, and of course, you're already late for work. Luckily, there's Pepto Kids. New Pepto Kids gummies helps relieve occasional stomach upsets, turning those 3 words into these 3 words.
I feel better.
Bad time for stomach upsets? Good time for new Pepto Kids gummies. Fast support for little tummies.
These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
You know that Big Bargain detergent jug is 80% water, right?
80% water? I thought I was getting a better deal because it's so big.
If you want a better clean, Tide Pods are only 12% water. The rest is pure, concentrated cleaning ingredients.
Oh, pass me the intercom thingy.
Attention shoppers. If you want a real deal, try Tide Pods.
Don't pay for water. Pay for clean. If it's got to be clean, it's got to be Tide Pods.
Water content based on the leading bargain liquid detergent.
The PGA club fitters at the Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio know that golf should be fun. They also know that players of all abilities will hit the ball farther and straighter, play better golf, shoot lower scores, and have more fun if they get fitted before they purchase golf clubs. Hagen Oaks delivers the same technology and major brands used to fit PGA and LPGA professionals. See how the game can be even more fun. Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio fittings are available 7 days a week. Make yours today by calling 916-808-2531. That's 808-2531.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health Sacramento will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit revivemenshealth.com.
Want the best movie experience in town? Join Sactown Sports' IMAX Pass by visiting SactownSports.com and sign up today. You can win tickets to see this week's film at the Esquire IMAX Theater.
Okay, next time you're at the store, I dare you to not think about the unmistakable fresh, clean scent of Irish Spring. Yeah, you heard me. I want you to resist picturing a shower filled with those sensational Irish Spring suds. And if you succeed, well, you got what my gramps used to call resolutitude. Not a real word, but let's be honest, you're probably going to end up leaving with Irish Spring because of its irresistible scent and because you have zero resolutitude. Pick up Irish Spring at Walmart today.
Lowe's knows how to save pros time and money. Right now, get 10% off all kitchen cabinet orders of $1,000 or more. Plus, MVP's Pro Rewards members earn double the bonus points on select stock cabinets through August 4th. Lowe's knows savings. Lowe's knows pros. Must ask cashier to apply discount barcode at time of purchase. Discount on cabinet purchase only. Coupon cannot be used with any other discount. Valid 7/27 through 8/9. Bonus points calculated before taxes and fees after applicable discounts, if any.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Your home for Kings basketball for over 25 seasons.
No look, Bibby to Weber down the lane, flying jam. There's your play of the night right there. It's inside is Sabonis, a two-hand rip, a brilliant pass from De'Aaron Fox.
KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento.
Sactown Sports.
At your desk, on your phone, in the car.
Whitey and Watkins.
On Sactown Sports.
I know, like many of you, I'm still reeling from the confession from Chris Watkins that if the Dodgers get Ohtani next year, they also get him.
It's not exactly, but
if the Dodgers get Ohtani next year,
consideration.
they also get Christopher Watkins.
Heavy consideration.
Appreciate his honesty, I do.
Yeah, heavy consideration. That's what I would say. I mean, you know, there's not much exciting baseball to watch at that point. I mean, if the Dodgers get Ohtani, I mean, that's kind of Am I wrong in saying that's Durant-esque to the Warriors? I mean, is it kind of a wrap after that anyway? I mean, what's really
depends
even
how,
the point of hope?
Yeah, I agree with you. It does depend to a degree how far they get this year.
Sure.
In the postseason.
Right.
But you're right. I mean, I hadn't thought of that, but definitely the parallels are there. And
Yeah.
I've been dreading this since last year when it was clear, okay, he's going to become a free agent.
Yeah.
He's going to the Dodgers. Boo.
It seems that way. I'm not saying that it's 100%. Maybe, who knows? Maybe it'll infuriate me even more. Like I don't support the Dodgers right now by any stretch of the imagination.
Just be careful because there's those Arco Arena chairs behind you.
Yeah.
And you don't want to, as you're walking back this whole thing, you don't want to hurt your hip on the edge of on the cup holder, right? I'm
not walking it back. Hey, I will be. I am not afraid to do it. It's more just it's got to feel right, and I've never really been much of a front runner. It would be a weird sensation to feel, but
whatever you want to do, honestly, of course, it's fine with me. But Christopher Lott, didn't he say if they get Ohtani, I'm going to be a Dodger fan? Now he's saying, maybe, but didn't he say that?
I don't.
Yes,
No.
I think the way you set it up was like it's either going to be the Dodgers or nobody at all.
Huh.
Chris, you're always pulling our audio and playing it back for us, and until I hear it again, I'm not gonna believe. My bad. I'm just not gonna believe it. I'm just letting everyone know.
You're the bad boy.
I'm more stating my free agency, my baseball free agency as well is also up for grabs, and I think that teams should consider that as well for negative and for positive.
Chris, you bring up a great point. We should send out to Major League Baseball Chris Watkins, baseball fan free agent, and have teams
pitch
themselves to you.
I've actually done that, and I think the team that ended up, I think the Twins were the team that ended up with.
Oh, there you go, Vikings, Twins.
Offer. This was years ago, but yeah.
Okay, yeah. The problem is I really don't want to be like a Twins fan, or I don't know.
And I think they had a guy named Eddie Guardado. You may remember if you're a baseball fan, and he lived in the area, and he was supposed to come and bring us bats or something, and he never did.
He was like, "Wait, what? Wait, what do you want me to do?
I'm not doing that."
So the best pitch was an offer that they didn't give.
Exactly. But it's the thought that counts for that. All that matters is that they attempted it.
We'll do that this offseason.
Please.
Chris
yeah,
Watkins,
I need
free
it.
agent fan.
Yes. Yeah, I'll take it. There's got to be some teams that are completely off the board, but sure. I'm not going to be a Royals fan. I'm not going to sign up for
Okay, but
team.
see, once you start closing those doors, then you're closing.
We'll see what Kansas City offers you.
Exactly.
Okay.
What if they're like, hey, we are going to fly you out to Kansas City, put you in a first-class hotel.
Yeah.
Seats behind home plate.
All right. George Brett. We'll get you Royals cap.
Okay. I mean, sure. Yeah. You know what? I won't close the door on anybody, but just this might be a Damian Lillard situation is all I'm saying.
As your representation, we do expect 10%.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, we do. And as your representation, if you feel like you don't want to go here or there, you keep that to yourself. Inside voice.
Right. Gotcha. Okay.
You don't know what they're going to offer you. And even if you're never going to go there, that ups the ante of a team that you do.
Okay.
Want
You've really done this before. Okay. Gotcha. Okay.
But the last season, I'm not going there. Doesn't help you.
Shut your mouth. Gotcha. Notes.
Doesn't help you.
Shut up. Exclamation point. Gotcha.
Do you think there are a lot of 49er fans who now are becoming Raider fans because Jimmy G's there?
No. No. I think the Raiders are losing fans. I think the Raiders are losing fans because of Jimmy G, if anything.
Jimmy G's going to have a chance here, if not in the exhibition game, at least in the next couple of days over the course of the joint practices, to take advantage of his knowledge of the 49ers and the defense.
Oh, I'm sure he will. Absolutely. I mean, who knows how much different Steve Wilkes's schemes are to what Jimmy's seen in the past. But yeah, I mean, I definitely think that this is going to be a little mini revenge for Jimmy as best as he can, even though, obviously these are very low stakes. But I think Jimmy's going to be walking around and just showing how happy he is in his new situation and just definitely letting everyone know, like, yeah, things are great. Like, love things over there, but like over here, this is just awesome. I'm being treated so much better and with so much more respect. I think it's gonna be really interesting to hear all the comments that come out of these joint practices, because I think there's gonna be a lot in between the lines from Kyle and from Jimmy that we're gonna hear.
There's one thing that Jimmy does well that I don't think he got enough credit for around here. That is something that might serve him really well against this edition of the 49er offense. Again, Jimmy doesn't always throw it to the right guy. Jimmy gets hurt a lot, but Jimmy gets the ball out.
Yeah.
And so if Steve Wilkes is thinking we're going to blitz more, it's
please,
ridiculous as it sounds.
Yeah.
It can be dangerous against Jimmy Garoppolo.
Yeah. I mean, if that's how you beat blitzes, by getting the ball out early. And that's what makes what Brock Purdy does really impressive as well. But that is Jimmy's definitely his best skill, is being able to get the ball out quickly and have that internal clock. He rarely, just sits on the ball and holds on to it. Sometimes he doesn't always make the right decision with his quick throws, but he's really good at sensing pressure and getting the ball out of his hands really quickly too. And he's got Davante Adams as well, who, from what I understand, he's just been feeding all, as long as he's been playing for the Raiders now.
Mm-hmm. So he'll test their young corners. He may go after Isaiah Oliver, their new nickelback.
Yep.
It'll be interesting to see. I wish we could see more of the joint practices.
I know. Yeah. It'll be interesting. All the reports. I mean, I'm sure there's going to be tons of 49ers reporters going out there. And, you definitely know that there's a lot of San Francisco media that I think wasn't very fond of Jimmy Garoppolo. And I would suspect that anything bad that happens during these joint practices, there's going to be a couple people out there who are going to be quick to report Jimmy Garoppolo overthrew a receiver. Haven't seen that before, or whatever. Haven't seen that in a while, or whatever. That's a welcome sight. Just, I think, all negative Jimmy press will definitely be known from these joint practices.
And of course, that cuts both ways, because a lot of the 49ers defenders, they have a new coordinator, but they're familiar with Jimmy, and Jimmy has apparently, according to reports, he's had an issue connecting with receivers in the right jerseys in his first few Raider practices.
Yeah.
So,
what was it? 7 interceptions in those?
yeah, but that's over 2 days.
Yeah, you're right. What was my over under was 5.5 for these joint practices.
I'm taking the under. I don't know that he's going to play that. If he gets to 5, it's like, you're out, Jimmy.
Right. Yeah. It's just like, I think
sit
what's
down.
Brian Hoyer doing these days? Or what is Aiden O'Connell, whoever was supposed to be Jimmy's backup besides that? Yeah, it's these joint practices, it's a way of these guys getting to, again, play other teams and see some different defenses and start to really get ready for the season. But something tells me Jimmy's going to be in midseason form throwing the ball to the other team. I think he's definitely going to try and, show Kyle Shanahan and the 49ers what they're missing out on,
I kind of like Jimmy. I understand why the
too.
49ers decided it's just we've gone as far as we're going to get with him, and he's always hurt. The worry to me is that Jimmy, with all those injuries, it's not like, as he's getting a little older now, it's not like you have the shoulder injury, all right, surgery, you're fine.
Yeah.
You have the thumb injury, fix it, you're fine. There's a cumulative effect.
Yeah, it compounds.
You get the knee, and then as you get older, and all of a sudden you're not as spry, and he was never that spry to begin with, and all of a sudden you're a little less mobile, a little less flexible, and then you're, what's the term? A sitting duck.
You're washed. Yeah. I could see. I mean, yeah, he's definitely what did he recover from right now? His shoulder surgery, right now that was keeping
foot.
It was his foot that was keeping him out. And yeah, like especially something like your foot, like that'll.
But initially they said you don't need surgery. It turns out another doctor said, no, you probably should get surgery.
Probably should get it. And that's exactly the kind of thing, especially when you're on the other side of 30, like those injuries are really, really tough to come back from. It really affects your ability to, especially as a quarterback, like
isn't a foot kind of important in throwing the football?
Foot's very, very important. Putting weight on it. I mean,
shoulder,
mobility,
thumb, knee,
all that stuff will definitely compound. And, the Raiders kind of don't. The Raiders are not in a situation like the 49ers where it's just, hey, Jimmy, just run the offense, dink and dunk, system pass, system throws. No, like he might actually need to go out there and make some plays and make some deep throws to Davante Adams, as he's so great at doing. Davante Adams is great at running deep, not necessarily Jimmy throwing deep. But he's going to have to make plays, and that's not his fault.
Yeah, I'd be saying, hey, where's Josh? Let's bring Josh Jacobs in. What's he? Yeah, we should work on that.
Yeah,
what do I need to do to get him in here?
Exactly. Yeah, I think that's going to be definitely like a huge. I think Josh Jacobs. Hopefully, he's in the mood for being a bell cow again, because I think that's going to really be how the Raiders, if they are going to find any success this season, which I'm dubious of. I think it's going to have to be because they rely heavily on the run game and be the traditional run sets up the pass kind of team. And, it's Jimmy again. Like, Jimmy's not really much of a playmaker. He can throw it to open guys and, he can fit it in some tight windows, but he is definitely not, your upper caliber quarterback who can uplift your team. And I think that's kind of the Raiders' only hope is if they had a quarterback who was like that.
Real quick here, an update on Josh Jacobs. CBS Sports reports Josh Jacobs holdout. Broncos, Chiefs showing interest in disgruntled Raiders running back per report.
Interesting. Well, I had not heard that they were, not that it even says the Raiders are considering it, but the fact that other teams are considering throwing offers out there for Jacobs
Teams
is
in your own division,
incredibly interesting. Yeah, that's not, if he were to go to if Josh Jacobs goes to the Chiefs, that is a game changer for them, 100%. I mean, they could really use a consistent running back. And
he had a good year even as a receiver last
year. I really like Josh Jacobs. I think he's I don't necessarily think he's I don't think he's ever going to lead the NFL in rushing again, but I really think he's more than capable of being like a team's number one back and not really thinking twice about it.
Coming up next, that had to be the weirdest scene in Hard Knocks history. Going right back with that here, Whitey and Watkins on Sactown Sports.
Whitey and Watkins.
Sactown Sports.
Will Christian McCaffrey lead the NFL in rushing? Can Sacramento's own Eric Armstead bring his game to another level?
Prescott back steps up in the pocket. He gets sacked. Back on the 15-yard line. Get in my belly.
Get in my
says
belly.
Eric Armstead.
Will rookie Jake Moody pick up where veteran kicker Robbie Gould left off? Find out on Whitey and Watkins every day at 11 a.m. during the 49ers Focus on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
Whitey here reminding you that not all grills are created equal. Enjoy the prime grilling season today with a new lifetime warranty Napoleon Prestige line of outdoor cookers. My personal Napoleon P500 series gas grill has turned me into a grilling pro. Napoleon Prestige grills, versatile grilling for every occasion. Form, function, and luxury can come in the same package. Just go to your local Green Acres Nursery and Supply for the best selection today or visit Napoleon.com for a dealer near you.
Relive racing history with hundreds of historic race cars at the Rolex Monterey Motorsports Reunion, August 16 to 19. Hundreds of the best, from the high-revving Formula One Ferraris and Lotuses to the ground-pounding thunder of the Cobras and Corvettes. Meet legendary drivers, indulge in delicious food and refreshing beverages, and take a spin on the Ferris wheel or go-kart to add to the family experience. VIP hospitality passes to the Legends Club are still available. Buy your tickets now at WeatherTechRaceway.com.
Check out Whitey and Watkins now on YouTube. Search Sactown Sports and watch the show from your desk.
Hard Knocks premiered last night. Big night of sports TV and other TV streaming shows with the debut. You haven't seen it yet of your new favorite show, Only Murders in the Building.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's available now. But last night we had the G League documentary. Didn't see any of that.
No, didn't watch any
the
of it.
Johnny Manziel documentary.
Watched all that.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. I watched Hard Knocks and the Johnny Manziel back-to-back.
It was crazy.
It was really crazy. Yeah.
Sad?
Yes.
So sad.
Yeah. I guess, I mean, some parts were definitely sad. It was more just, I mean, crazy is probably the best word to describe it.
It's like he was Dennis Rodman, and I didn't realize how much he was like that.
Yeah, like literally like partying days or the night before a big game, would show up hungover to practice.
It's tough as a quarterback to get away with that, as he found out.
He found out eventually, but I was shocked at how well he would perform. And coaches, Cliff Kingsbury was heavily featured in the doc, and he was like, yeah, like we saw a picture of him, being drug out of a frat party, and we're like, dude, you better be ready for tomorrow. That's all I got to say. And then would have like his greatest game of his career. So you would think it'd be really tough as a quarterback to party all night and then throw for, 400 yards and rush for another 100, but he just kept doing it. And there's even a point in there where I'm not trying to spoil anything, but where Cliff Kingsbury's like, What am I supposed to tell him? Like, if he's doing it and if he's doing this party lifestyle, but is showing up on Saturday, like, maybe I should have said something, but I'm not. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, really. And I was like, yeah.
Didn't he say something in the doc at some point, Johnny Manziel, about never watching film?
Yes.
He gave a 0.
It was so great. Yeah, because again, don't want to spoil everything, but Manziel's agent is like, yeah, I was talking to the Browns, and one of the assistant coaches was like, he's not watching any film. Like, we have his iPad, like we can track his iPad, and there's no usage on it. Like, he's not watching any film. And he's like, he's not watching any film. And then they cut to Manziel, and he just holds up a 0, and he's like, yep, no film, none at all. And I guess he used to have his like 4th string quarterback at A&M take drug tests for him, and he's just like smirking, and he's like, yep, that's true. It's just crazy, just an absolutely wild story. Yeah, it was really, really well done. Only like an hour 15, so pretty digestible as well. And really only spent like 15 minutes on his pro career. It's mainly about how he became Johnny Football, and then all the wildness that was his college.
I remember talking to Matt Millen when Johnny Manziel was coming out of the draft, and Matt Millen, who at that time was not involved in those decisions, but he had been.
Yeah.
And I remember him saying, I think Johnny Manziel is the next coming of Fran Tarkenton. And I know Fran Tarkenton is a little tough before your time, but
no, I know a lot about Fran Tarkenton.
He was, well, you being a Viking fan.
Yeah.
Turns out that wasn't the case.
No, it was not. But you could see,
But there's a lot of people that know football thought that's where that thing was headed.
Well, yeah.
Maybe if they'd known more about everything.
His personal,
behind the scenes, they wouldn't have.
It's one of those things, and his agent says, like, okay, you were a kid in college. Now it's time to grow up. This is your career. You have to work on this. And he didn't want any part of it.
None. Yeah.
And like his agent was just holding his hand throughout the entire process.
Yep. Yeah.
Trying to help him out.
It was bad too, because even Johnny says, like, yeah, like people like to say, if I would have not gone to the Browns, like, oh, would it have worked if you went to the Patriots or He's like, honestly, if I'm being honest, it didn't matter where I ended up. It wasn't going to work out. And that's how you really know, like, he just didn't he didn't give himself a chance. And, that's kind of the main theme of the thing is how he pretty much self-sabotaged himself the entire time. But
is he still playing now anywhere in any league?
No. At the end, his sister's like, he's not in the right mental space.
Even now,
they're like, yeah, he couldn't. There's no way he could handle. He's just somebody who can't. Like, if his ego is a whole separate, like Johnny Football and Johnny Manziel are two different people, and if Johnny Football comes to the surface, he's like the Hulk. It's just you can't really control him. Like, and I mean, it's in that sense. Again, that part of the story is really, really sad. But for the most part, it's just almost amazement at how he was able to live that lifestyle, but still be on top of the world. And I completely forgot, as a redshirt freshman, won the Heisman. That was his Heisman season. And just everything to just spiral so quickly. It's a fantastic documentary.
I have no doubt that it's great. As I said yesterday, I have to be, I think, in the right frame of mind to want to see it. And I'm just not right now, but that's because I just don't want to go through all that, but I can imagine how great it is.
I would also suggest, if again that whole sports documentary series Untold is great. They also have Chris mentioned this as well. They show Manziel winning the Heisman. One of the other candidates for the Heisman that year was Manti Te'o. He also has a fantastic Untold documentary, which really gives you all the. I mean, it was one of those things where obviously the Manti Te'o story was massive when it happened. But I never felt like I ever got clarity from it. And it was just kind of one of those things that passed with time. And maybe you heard about what actually happened and what didn't. What actually happened in that Manti Te'o story is just, it is so wild. It is the craziest story I've ever heard in my life. And so I would also heavily recommend watching that.
Also last night, Jets edition, most current Jets edition of Hard Knocks debuted. And they had a scene where Liv Schreiber, the
voice of God
narrator, shows up at Jets camp, and they helicopter him in, and he's talking on the sidelines to Aaron Rodgers, and he's like, you're the narrator, you can't be part of the thing.
Breaking the fourth wall there.
Yeah.
It was really strange.
What's the point of that?
It was a major plot line too. It was like 10 minutes of the show they spent on just
Liv Schreiber. That bugs me so much, but I just feel like that's wrong.
gave Aaron Rodgers another opportunity to be such a great guy too.
That's
He says, "Hey, how's it going, Liv? A big fan of your work." They have a little awkward small talk conversation. Aaron walks away to go talk with Nathaniel Hackett, and he's like, "Hey, Nate, like, go talk to him. Like, he's really nervous. Like, this is a really cool opportunity for him. He's too nervous to like walk up to people. Like, go make him feel welcome." And I was like, this guy, Aaron Rodgers, Mr. Rogers is just, he's the best, man. He's such a nice guy. Don't cut that. I didn't say that. I did not say Mr. Rogers.
Also, I struggled with Robert Saleh's bird analogy.
But boy,
am I the only one?
No.
Something about eagles and crows. This is Robert Saleh talking to his team, addressing his team on Hard Knocks.
All right, you can take your pens out on this one. This is a
a
life lesson for everybody. For everybody. 3 nights ago, I was in deep thought. And I was thinking about you guys. I was thinking about all the excitement surrounding us, man. All of it. Did you know that the only bird in the world that will attack an eagle is a crow? It's a crow. That's the only bird that will actually have the balls to attack an eagle. It will perch on the eagle's back and peck at its neck. So rather than fight back and tearing a crow to pieces like it can, the eagle spreads its wings and it soars as high as it possibly can. It keeps going and going and going as high as it can. And the higher the eagle flies, the harder it is for the crow to breathe. Eventually, the crow suffocates, falls back down to earth, and dies.
Huh? Okay. Now, at first, I thought he said the only bird that will attack an eagle is the crow. Okay, so we're crows,
We're
right?
the crows, right?
No,
exactly.
we're not crows.
we're okay. So
we're the Eagles
then,
so
I guess.
We're the Eagles.
We're the Jets, but we're the Eagles.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because they're saying the Ravens. A raven is a crow. Coach. Hey, coach. Coach, what? Coach, why doesn't the crow just fall off when it gets really high up and then just fly away? Why does it have to die suffocated? I guess what he's getting at is we've got all these naysayers, but we're just gonna do what we do.
We're just gonna keep soaring,
soar higher and higher. We will fly like an eagle.
Oh, I guess so. Yeah, that works.
But we're football. Shouldn't we turn around and attack the crow?
That's my thing.
Players.
It's like, yeah, where's the?
I don't know.
Sounds like you're running from someone attacking you, and I feel like you should try and meet them at the point of contact. No,
I've read it's a great analogy, and I was just I'm a little lost on that.
And the thing is, there's no way that room of football players understood what he was talking about either. I mean, they're not, the sharpest tools in the shed in there. And then he's explaining this I don't understand it. I can't imagine they understood it either. Maybe Aaron Rodgers was like, yeah, I know exactly what you're getting at. The good old Eagle Crow story, Coach. Yeah,
you hear there when he goes, it's the crow, and there's like a murmur, like, oh, the crow, what? The crow? I can't believe it.
Yeah. Oh, crow. Oh, that's sick. That's gangster, dude. That's gangster. Crows are sick. And it's like, yeah, no, I still don't really understand the analogy. I don't really get it.
You know what's the best analogy involving animals to tell teams, in my opinion? When I coached it's girls basketball, I tell them this. Okay, I think
acceptable for all ages.
It's a Russian proverb is what I've read. I don't know if that's true. There's a bucket and it's got cream in it, okay, because they're on a farm or whatever. 2 frogs fall in.
Okay.
They can't get out. There's no way out. One of the frogs says, there's no way out. I give up. I can't possibly get out of this. Sinks to the bottom. Gone. The other frog says, I can't see how I'm going to get out of this, but I'm not going to give up.
Sure.
Churning his legs, pumping, but trying to get out. He churned so hard that he churns the cream into butter. And then he jumps to the top and hops out of the bucket.
His
Why?
poor friend is
because
at the bottom
he never
still.
gave up.
Oh, wow.
Nothing to do with crows.
I heard it as 2 mice.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Well, that doesn't make sense. Frogs make a lot more sense.
Frogs
They're a lot. I feel like a frog churning into butter is a lot more, makes a lot more sense.
Great
a lot
story
more
either way, though.
It is. No, it's great. Yeah. It's simple. It's not a long analogy. It's very cut and dry. You could
And
picture
you don't
it.
sit there and go, okay, what does that
Yeah,
mean?
wait.
You
so
know
are
what
we
it
the
means.
are we the milk? Are we the butter? Are we the bucket? Yeah, no, it's very, very simple. Yeah, Robert Saleh.
And what was all that about? You know, I was deep in thought.
And,
You
I was,
guys.
and you know what I was thinking about? I was thinking about you guys. And so, is this his analogy? Like, did he create this? I don't know. It point is, it didn't hit. It did not stick.
Point is, never give up.
Exactly.
Coming up, a very defensive-minded edition of the Football Feud. Chris against Chris next. Sactown Sports.
Whitey
and Watkins
on Sactown Sports. It's the Golf to Go Hour with Frank LaRosa. Thursdays at 6 p.m. and Saturdays at 8 a.m. on Sactown Sports. Get the latest on equipment, area courses, people who play the great game, and plenty of good conversations about golf. Golf to Go. Thursdays at 6 p.m. and Saturdays at 8 a.m. on Sactown Sports. Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, America's most awarded golf facility. Naturewood Home Furnishings, where it's all about choices and always about quality.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave, and I recognize, just like my friends at American Energy Heat and Air, that your time is important. And that's why shopping for a new air conditioner is now easier with American Energy Heat and Air's online quoting tool. All you have to do is go to AmericanEnergyAir.com and get an instant quote right now. It'll help you determine what system you're going to need to get. It'll provide the best pricing options, all from the comfort of your home without having to have somebody come to your home. You know how annoying that is? They come in and everybody there is so sweet and nice, but how much better is it to be able to get it on demand? Visit AmericanEnergyAir.com. Check out how easy it can be. Or if you want to give them a call and talk through what your needs are, 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Power Business Technology is proud to be 100% independent, locally owned, and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a 2022 Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer. Contact us today for all of your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at powercopiers.com. Y'all ready to do it again, Sacramento? Country in the Park 2 is coming to Hart Health Park at Cal Expo Saturday, September 9th with Cole Swindell, Chris Jansen, Dylan Scott, and more. Plus, a mechanical pool, line dancing saloon, and all the food. Tickets start at $40 or grab your Coors Light Y'all Access passes for $125. For more info, visit SactownSports.com. Country in the Park 2. Brought to you by Shane Company, Attic Man Heating and Air Conditioning, and the United States Marines.
I like daffodils, tulips, the big dinner plate dahlias. I loved being in the garden, but I wasn't going to be able to because I couldn't not only walk, but I couldn't really stand on my foot without being in pain. It was excruciating. So my husband said, let's go to the Good Feet store.
For over 20 years, we've helped people like Terry live the life they love without letting their feet get in the way.
This nice young man said, I think I can help you. He got the arch support and I was fitted. And I kept walking back and forth across the store. And I looked at my husband and burst into tears because it was the first time in a year that I have not had any pain in my foot. I have had no pain since the day I bought them. Now I can do whatever I want. There isn't any place on my property that doesn't have flowers blooming 365 days a year. I still can't believe it. My name is Terry, and that's my Good Feet story.
See what we can do for you with a free personalized arch support fitting at the Good Feet store.
The Good Feet store. Come in now for a free arch support fitting and test walk.
Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
I'm Christopher Laud with your Sactown Sports headlines. Yesterday, the Sacramento Kings announced that they signed center Neemias Queta to a standard NBA contract. The past 2 seasons, Queta has had a 2-way contract splitting time between the Stockton Kings and the Sacramento Kings. For more on the signing, check out Sactown Sports Kings insider Frankie Cardicelli's report on SactownSports.com. The Oakland A's will try and avoid the sweep this afternoon when they host the Texas Rangers. Austin Pruitt will take the mound for the A's against Jordan Montgomery of the Rangers. First pitch is scheduled for 12:37. Those are your headlines. Now let's get back to Whitey and Watkins.
It's time to play Football Feud.
Chris Watkins against Christopher Law today in a test of pro football knowledge.
Let's do it. Let's play the feud.
Very defensive-minded edition of the feud today. So you
really?
guys,
Okay.
yeah, when you want to buzz in here with an answer, please shout your last name, unless one of you wants to be Rick. That's always allowable as well.
Sure.
Yeah.
Why
we
not?
still haven't figured out who Rick is.
Could
But
be
I
any of
have,
us.
here's what we have here. Top 7 on the board, okay?
Okay.
Top 7 on the board. Can you name the team, talking about last year in the NFL, name the team, regular season, that allowed the fewest points in the NFL season?
Watkins.
I did hear
That was
Watkins
so
first,
tough.
yes.
San Francisco 49ers.
Number 1 answer.
Come on.
Well done.
Yes.
277. So, since you got the number 1 answer,
Yeah.
it gives you control of the board. You wish to pass or play, Chris Watkins?
Well, you said this is going to be defensive minded, right?
Yes.
So I'm going to play defense, and I'm going to let Christopher Laud take control.
All right. Over to Christopher Laud.
Good luck, kiddo.
Yes. Number 1 answer, 49ers gave up 277 points.
Wow.
This is total points.
Ooh, that's
It's not,
nothing.
not just defense, but they're the number 1 answer. Christopher Laud, what do you got for us?
Eagles.
Philadelphia Eagles. Survey says they were the number 8 answer, and we're looking for top 7.
Barely.
So, yeah, just missed, but that's strike 1 against you.
Okay. All right. Don't like where this is going.
Yeah.
You're doing fine.
Yeah, look at some
You just
logos.
barely missed there. You're doing fine.
Let's go with the Steelers.
Pittsburgh Steelers survey says they were number 10.
Chris, does it hurt to hit the buzzer on yourself?
Yeah, it does.
So you're not far off, but you're off. Yeah, they were number 10 last
Sorry.
year. It's not
My bad.
1974 anymore. 2 strikes against you. It's all right. You can do this. Have you ever heard the story about the frog and the butter?
No, I heard the mouse in the cream.
How about the crow and the eagle?
Oh, let's go with the Jets.
The New York Jets. Number 4.
Wow,
There you
look at that.
go.
He's giving him answers.
Well
though.
done.
That's cheating.
No, I didn't even need to
Okay,
do that. 316 points, number 4.
Let's go with the Crows, the Ravens.
Number 3 answer.
Wow.
There you go.
There you go.
Baltimore Ravens. They gave up 315 points, 1 fewer than the Jets. 2 strikes against you. 3 teams off the list. We still need 2, 5, 6, and 7. The NFL teams that allowed the fewest points last season. Niners 1, Ravens 3, Jets 4.
Let's go with the Patriots.
New England Patriots. If it's up there, your march continues. If not, Watkins will have the chance to steal. Survey says not in the top 10. Strike 3, you're out. Even though it's a football feud.
Yeah.
Over to Chris Watkins. Chance for a pretty quick and easy victory here.
Yeah.
All you need to do is name team 2, team 5, team 6, or team 7 to win today's feud. Miss, and Verlaud emerges victorious.
Probably just want to go with your gut and pick the first team that comes to mind.
Are you trying to
Just trying to
get
get
him to
in my head.
overthink this? Or
I'm going to go with the Buffalo Bills.
the Buffalo Bills?
The Buffalo Bills. Yeah.
Okay.
The very same.
Let's see what we have here. I'll start at number 7.
Sure.
For the reveal. Number 7, they gave up 343 points. The Washington Commanders were on the list.
Wow. Congrats.
Number 6, the Dallas Cowboys.
How about them?
Number 5, Cincinnati Bengals.
Cincinnati.
As we said, Jets 4, Ravens 3, San Francisco 1. So who's number 2? If it's the Bills, Watkins wins. If it's not, Verlaud wins. They gave up only 286 points. Team number 2 is the Buffalo Bills. Chris
come
Watkins is your winner. On today's edition of the football.
High fives all around. Come on.
Feud.
Good job, family. Good job.
Uh-huh.
Good job. Boy, oh boy. How about that? Thank you.
Christopher Laud just barely missed with his first 2 guesses, and then he was in a deep hole, couldn't quite climb out of it.
Yeah. The 49ers.
I just fell to the bottom of the cream.
Yes.
I fell off the Eagles' back.
Yeah.
What a great metaphor. Yeah, that kind of makes it scary for the 49ers. I know obviously being the number 1 defense in the league is always a positive, but yeah, trying to replicate that year after year after year with different coordinators, it's a tall task. And if they can just remain a top 5 defense, I feel like that is a good standing for them if they want to have really good success this year.
Do they need to blitz more? I mean, look, as we said,
I think so.
Defensively last year, well, this includes everything, special teams,
Sure.
everything. Only 277 points allowed.
It's incredible.
Because blitz is a little bit of a risk.
It is. Yeah, absolutely.
And their front is so solid. As I mentioned earlier, I remember Vic Fangio, there were games that 2011 season Harbaugh's first year where they went to the NFC title game, and Vic Fangio said, we didn't blitz at all.
Yeah.
We don't have to.
I don't think the Niners have to blitz. I mean, with the talent, the pass rushing talent that they have, and obviously Nick Bosa and Javon Hargrave, who, if I'm not mistaken, led all D tackles and sacks last year. Like that's a really, really good core to have. And then, you have Armstead as well. Cleveland Farrell, I guess, is apparently competing on the other side with Drake Jackson. Like they should have enough firepower on that defensive line to get to the quarterback without blitzing. And traditionally the counterpoint is it makes sense to blitz because if the 49ers don't feel great about their secondary,
that's it. It depends how the secondary performs.
Exactly. Yeah. If the secondary is giving up yards like it's hotcakes on a weekend or something, then yeah, for sure they should probably blitz more and try and get to the quarterback to alleviate, the problem of having your cornerbacks stuck in coverage and potentially getting burned and, getting that throw out faster. But I would think that with the talent they have, they shouldn't have to on a majority of their snaps. Definitely.
Right.
Like 20 to 30% blitz rate. Sure, for sure. But anything more than that, I don't know. That feels like
what I'm
excessive to me.
A little uncomfortable with is just the notion that, Steve Wilkes, he's going to blitz more. Well, doesn't he need to wait and see if he has to?
Exactly.
And which may be the case, but that's all. Oh, he's going to blitz more. Well, hopefully he won't have to.
Yeah, exactly. And I know it's been traditionally for Wilkes, he's been a really big blitzer, even like sending corners very often. And I think that could be beneficial. It's always great to send pressure from places that, you typically don't see it at to throw them off. But I don't think that they'll have to. If they do, they should definitely get home. But I think this 49ers defense, it should be good, and it's almost like they should be good enough just in their base to get the work done. And with how explosive the offense is, I don't think they have to be the number one, like I said, but as long as they're a top 5 or top 10 defense by most metrics, I would think that they're probably going to be fine. But like we discussed in Factor Fantasy, I think it was last week, the defense is very, very key to the overall success of the Niners, for sure.
I'm a big fan of the zone blitz. I remember reading a book about one of the first teams that threw that out there. Was it Cincinnati, Dick LeBeau, somebody? Anyway, what it was, basically you play a zone behind a blitz.
Right.
So you blitz, and then you have a defender take the spot of the blitzer.
Yes.
Whereas the quarterbacks, especially before, were trained wherever the blitz is coming,
that's where you
throw the ball because there's nobody there. And like the first time somebody tried it, it's like, and the quarterback just throws the ball right to the defender.
Exactly.
Because he's like, I'm throwing it right there. Whoops, interception.
Yeah.
And you go back to that Super Bowl, the Steelers against the Cardinals, where they're at the goal line, right? And here comes Harrison on the blitz, and Kurt Warner throws it right there
to him. Yep.
Yeah. Actually, Harrison wasn't on the blitz.
Yeah.
He was the one that rotated over.
He's the one who,
he covered, and takes it the other way.
100 yards.
Yeah, one of the most famous plays in football.
I think it was 100. Yeah, you took it all the way back to the house.
Yeah. I love that.
It's great. And that's why the 49ers have had their linebackers juggling, right? Is to get better at getting those tipped interceptions and just get even more turnovers in general. If they can be they led the league in interceptions or tied the league lead for interceptions last year. If they can produce turnovers as well, I mean, that's where they can really enter the conversation for being, on top of everybody. They can be the team to beat if their defense is to like an elite level. If they somehow improve, I'm only really factoring for some sort of downslide, but if by some way they could actually improve and be even better, I mean, obviously that takes them to a whole nother level.
That's the other thing that makes it less important to have an elite quarterback when you have a defense like that.
Yes, 100%. Yeah.
Coming up next, you want to bet ESPN's about to make lots and lots and lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of money?
They'll take it.
Yeah, Whitey and Watkins with that next. Sactown Sports.
It's Whitey and Watkins on Sactown Sports. How many national TV games will the Kings have this season? Will the Beam Team get the respect and schedule they've earned? When the NBA schedule drops, we've got you covered on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
Hold up, you're using Swiffer Power Mop? What would Mom say?
Oh, she'd be like, a mopping bucket is the only way to deep clean your floors. And I'd be like, Mom, this is the new Swiffer Power Mop, the all-in-one that gets you a mop and bucket clean in half the time.
She'd never believe you.
I'd say, look, the solution's built right in, so no heavy bucket. And the pad has hundreds of scrubbing strips to get into grout lines. That's why you're the smart one.
Really?
What? Mom said it.
The new Swiffer Power Mop. Don't mop harder, mop smarter.
Hey, you want to be around people having a great time? You need to come check out Capital Casino, offering the most varieties of table games in the region in the friendliest environment. Come for the food, which is awesome, of course, and stay and play. Conveniently located in downtown Sacramento at 411 North 16th Street. Right there in downtown Sacramento for over 20 years. Cap Casino, best food, best games, and of course, the best action. And please gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
I'm Ken Korak with your Green and Gold Report, brought to you by Xfinity 10G, the next generation network. What a day on Sunday as the A's inducted their latest group of Hall of Famers, including Bob Johnson, Roy Steele, Gene Tennis, Carney Lansford, and Jason Giambi. And how about the luminaries on the field before the game? Cappy Campaneris, Dennis Eckersley, Dave Stewart, Joe Rudy, Raleigh Fingers, Ricky Henderson, Tony La Russa, Steve Usnich, and Keith Lippman. Quite a bit of history. Ken Korak here, introducing you to the Xfinity 10G network. Xfinity is undergoing a multi-year network evolution, giving you a powerful connection today while building toward a faster, more reliable tomorrow. The Xfinity 10G network gives you the fastest internet with even faster speeds rolling out all the time. You also get a consistent and reliable connection when everyone's online, even during peak hours. That's a home run. If you want to learn more, go online at xfinity.com/10G.
Folsom Lake Ford has trucks. The F-150s are here. Explorers, Expeditions, and a huge selection of Broncos and Bronco Sports. They're in stock now at Folsom Lake Ford. Shop Folsom Lake Ford, your truck headquarters right here in Sacramento for your favorite Ford models at good, fair prices. Short on cash? Buy any new Ford with zero down. Save big with low interest finance rates. Plus, Folsom Lake Ford is paying top dollar for all trades. We want your vehicle regardless of mileage or condition. This could be the best time to buy a new Ford. Check out the huge inventory online at FolsomLakeFord.com or stop by the dealership and see the most recent arrivals. Looking for something special? Give them a call and tell them Doug Christie sent you. Folsom Lake Ford in the Folsom Auto Mall, your trusted dealer, my trusted dealer for over 30 years. FolsomLakeFord.com.
Zero down with approved credit.
Shop Folsom Lake Kia for all your favorite models at low prices and payments, plus low finance rates and zero down deals with approved credit. Go see my friends at Folsom Lake Kia right here in Sacramento for over 20 years.
Download the Sactown Sports app and listen to Whitey and Watkins on your smartphone.
Do you remember about a year ago or so, maybe a little longer than that? I don't know if the station is still there, maybe, but there were plans in San Francisco for a sports gambling radio station.
No.
Yes.
No, I never heard about that.
Yeah, and it was before we had the measure here, before if people voted on whether sports gambling would be legalized in California, and it got destroyed.
Absolutely demolished.
Yeah, so I don't even know what happened to the station, but yeah, that is the future. Maybe not in California,
right?
But that's where all of this is headed. I did think that was kind of, wait, what?
A little premature, probably, to get the plans rolling on that before the law passed. But
yeah. And
it's
now,
interesting. I mean, for sure. I mean, like, I definitely think that there's a market for it. Absolutely. People who just want to hear about games in terms of gambling, like, hearing analysis on where to put your money, where it might be, it's a different way of talking about sports, but I don't know. It still feels pretty niche to me.
That is so
This seems like a cash grab.
Yeah. I mean, that's already, gambling talk is already more and more a part of sports talk.
Absolutely.
And then to have, no, it's just this.
It's just that.
Sports betting. I don't know.
It's crazy.
But ESPN has signed a licensing deal with Penn Entertainment to create ESPN Bet, a sports book for audiences in the U.S. Penn is going to rebrand its current sports book to ESPN Bet later this fall in 16 states where it's licensed. This, let's see here. That'll include a mobile website. Penn agreed to pay ESPN $1.5 billion in cash over 10 years.
ESPN will gladly take that. Absolutely.
As well as grant ESPN $500 million of warrants to purchase approximately 31.8 million common shares of Penn.
Huh.
There are options to receive bonus warrants depending on the performance of ESPN Bet. Again, it's not legal here in California. I don't think it will be, sports betting that is, anytime soon.
No, I don't think so. It definitely doesn't seem that's gaining much of any traction. And like you said, that vote got absolutely demolished to the point where it's not even really very much worth your time to get your hopes up over it. But this kind of seems like
I was okay with it, frankly.
I would have loved to see sports betting legal in California. It just seems like one of those things, like you said, like it just feels like it's already integrated into society anyway. And if anything, it's just more making it mainstream, making it more legal and mainstream, instead of people having independent bookies and doing all that stuff off Canadian websites and stuff like that. Just streamline.
Man, in England, like the sports book is at the stadium. The sports books are at the
That's
stadium.
where it's headed.
That's crazy to me. And I've heard that that's definitely like the new wave in America with new stadiums and ballparks that they're building, is to have sports books integrated into the stadium. That I don't know why that feels like a little bit of a slippery slope, but it feels like that's kind of getting close to people at the games paying more attention to their bets than the actual game at hand. And I don't know why that makes me feel so uncomfortable, but it's a
good question. Where is that line? Even 30 years ago, the pro leagues would have never had a team in Las Vegas.
No,
because
never.
That's where all the gambling goes on.
Yep, exactly.
They would have never considered being linked in any way to sports gambling.
Mm-hmm.
And now
FanDuel, DraftKings, you can't watch an NFL game without seeing a commercial.
And I understand now leagues realize there's just too much money to be made.
100%. Yeah.
You've got to have those partnerships.
Yeah.
But then you do get into the issues like, well, with all the NFL players that have been betting, I mean, are we close to a point where it's going to start to affect the outcome? Maybe we find out, maybe we don't.
Mm-hmm.
Where somebody, and I heard Dave, and is it David? Dave, it's Jason Ross, Jay Ross, and Jay Mars and Company with David.
With the other one,
they were saying, oh, it's going to be terrible because somebody is going to go to a player and look, you're not making enough money, but we can make it worth your while if you play this game that way or that way.
Right.
That's the danger.
We're just thinking professional as well. Like, I mean, college corruption is
Iowa State,
already kind of exists. Right, exactly. Yeah, there's a whole ring at Iowa State, and definitely, like there's 100% tons of different reasons why they shouldn't do it.
Wasn't there a player too that came out recently who said some guy yelling at him like, "Hey, you lost me my bet"?
Oh yeah, that was Marty Fish.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yeah, that was exactly. That was at the Tahoe Celebrity Golf Tournament.
Yeah, Celebrity Golf Tournament.
Who won that tournament, by the way, brother?
I believe it was Steph Curry.
That's right.
I believe Marty Fish technically scored the lowest score. So if
the summer of Steph,
if we're talking about golf, then Marty Fish won.
I think if you get a hole in one, you automatically win.
Well, that's what the celebrity scoring agrees with you. I mean, because pretty much he hit the hole in one, and that won him the tournament.
I don't know that everyone says, and I've probably said it myself, that it's really hypocritical of these leagues. But is it really? I mean, the leagues say, look, we can make money off the gambling.
Yeah.
But they say to their players, you can't gamble. Is that hypocritical? Really? It's like, I get it. You can't.
Yeah, I don't think that's hypocritical. It's part of maintaining the integrity of the game.
Yeah, if you don't have the integrity, nobody bets on it, and nobody makes money.
Exactly.
So what are you supposed to do? Well, we take money from gamblers, from gambling outfits. So you guys, I guess we can't stop you from betting. No, of course your players can't bet.
Right, exactly. It's like insider trading. There's a reason why that it's illegal. It's because you have a natural advantage over everybody else. And sorry, you can't participate in this thing that everybody else can participate in because you're way too close to the situation.
Yes,
and like insider trading, people are just going to do it anyway.
I mean, yeah, for sure, exactly.
Of course.
Literally,
but
exactly.
It's not really hypocritical. No, now, if they were to say gambling is horrible, but that's not what they're saying. They're saying, not. You guys can't bet.
Yes, and that's the only concern, I think, because they, like you said, they understand that there's tons of money, and clearly gambling and sports should go hand in hand, but they have to, it's really tough when, I mean, you have to think about the fact that the players, like you're saying, the integrity, no one's going to bet on the games if everyone feels like, oh, it's fixed anyway. All the players are, inside and, they're influencing the game, or even we're thinking players again, like the history of this thing shows referees are people that you have to worry about, officials. It can be anybody, anybody involved in the game itself is liable for corruption. And it's really tough to regulate, but I think that it makes sense for sports and gambling to go hand in hand.
They
just
no
need to do a good job.
There's no going
no,
backwards.
No, you can't put it back into the two.
Yeah, but
absolutely.
The players
not.
on some level have to understand you can't.
Yeah, it's just that cut and dry. You can't do it. You can't participate in it, and it's not even like that foreign of a rule. Like if you work for the Kings, even if you're in their sales department, they'll tell you in the HR meeting whether you decide to follow it or not. You can't have can't be a part of fantasy sports. Like you can't even do that because you have anyone who works within the organization shouldn't be allowed to do it.
Baseball's taking money from DraftKings and then they suspended Pete Rose. That's hypocritical. It's not hypocritical. Now there are a lot of reasons why you could argue that Pete Rose should be in the Hall of Fame, but that there's no hypocrisy there.
No,
he bet on games when he clearly was not. He knew, and everyone knew you're not supposed to bet on games.
Yes,
you can't bet on games.
A simple rule. It is a very, very simple rule, and it's the only rule that, in terms of gambling, that you have to follow. Is just don't participate in it.
I'm not saying I'm not blind to all the potential issues here, but I think we need to understand the meaning of the word when we talk about the hypocrisy of the leagues taking money from DraftKings and then telling the players can't bet.
No.
Players can't bet.
They just can't bet.
It doesn't work. The whole thing crumbles.
Yes,
which hopefully it won't, but we'll see.
Yeah, exactly. And they just have to figure out ways to regulate it. That's really what the key is.
Can you take care of that for us?
Sure, if they want to pay me for it, absolutely.
When we come back, what the
hey, don't do that. That's gonna be my move.
Okay, good.
Don't do that.
That'll work.
That's all I got. That's all I got. Hey,
give him that look.
Yeah.
I'll
call Bieniemy on you.
The Neemias Queta deal, what it means for the Kings and the roster going forward. We'll be right back with that. Of course, you're with us on YouTube. We ain't going anywhere.
Nowhere.
It's Watkins and Whitey on Sactown Sports.
There we go. Well.
Well.
A part of that ESPN deal, I don't know if you saw. I don't really care. I'm not really a big Barstool sports guy, but excuse me.
I did see
I
that.
have food in my mouth, but so Penn, I guess, used to be really linked with Barstool. It was like their official sports book. And a part of this deal is, I guess, Penn sold their stake in Barstool back to Dave Portnoy.
Yeah.
So now Barstool is 100% back owned by Dave Portnoy, and that was a part of this. So, I don't really follow Barstool Sports. I think I don't really know what word I want to use for what Barstool Sports is, but it's different.
It's popular.
It's popular. There you go. Yeah, it is popular. So yeah, if you're a fan of Barstool Sports, I guess congrats. I guess.
I do think gambling eventually will be the end of pro sports. But
I mean, for sure.
I don't want to sound like, it's
going to crush. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's just no, like you said, the amount of NFL players we already see caught up in these investigations, like it's just bound to be some fringe guy and
it's got to be the proverbial tip of the iceberg. Mm-hmm. What we know about has to be.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. There's got to be a lot more that's happening that we don't hear about. The problem is once it happens to a quarterback, that's when it's over, because then it's going to be, they have so much influence on the game. You know what I've always struggled with, though? And I understand why it has to be illegal, because it just has to be a blanket. You can't do it. But betting for your team, like, what's wrong with that? Besides the fact that you are betting, like, what is bad? Like, how are you going to, what is going to be your explanation for why you suspend somebody for betting on their team to win?
It's not. It's just so close to
exactly. Yeah, for sure.
The next step could easily be. Yeah. But you're right. In theory, that was one of the things about Pete Rose. I remember talking to John Dowd, did some interviews, and he was the investigator. He said we weren't allowed to come out with it publicly, but Pete Rose, I think he said he bet. He bet on games that they played. I think he said he bet against the team.
See, like, that's obviously why that would be bad, is because people, whether it's right or wrong, whether Pete Rose truly was just looking at it analytically and was like, we don't stand a chance against these guys. Or you could say, well, he's intentionally going to throw. That makes a lot of sense to me. I understand why. And I get why it's a slippery slope.
I think there was an untold or it might have been something else, but it's a Netflix documentary on the Pittsburgh betting scandal.
Really?
And they're talking to the players that took money, and it was basically like, okay, you guys are favored by 10.
Oh, yeah.
Don't win by 10.
Uh-huh.
and just like he's like, okay, so we're getting paid to win. Like, what's wrong with that type of thing?
Right.
I think I saw that too. I think it was UNLV, wasn't it? Maybe we're talking about different
UNLV
things.
had another situation too as well.
Okay, because I did watch a Netflix documentary where they said something like that, where it's like, like the bettors weren't saying don't win the game, but instead of winning by 10 or 15, can you guys win by 4? And they would just be really, really good at like
at the end of the game, just like, oh man,
just
give
turnovers,
up the ball.
just random stuff.
Missed a couple of free throws,
slip, inbound it to the other team, random things like that. It's interesting.
You can't help those things do happen.
Yeah,
naturally,
exactly.
But then when you see them happen, it's like you just can't help but wonder what.
Yeah.
I think the NBA, all things considered, has done a good job of bouncing back from Donaghy and like Game 6, and there were clearly some things there that something was going on. Even if it was just the league saying, "Hey, we'd really love another game."
You know what I've never understood too? Why do they like? Is it just hubris? Like they think they won't get caught, but why do people themselves like? Why is Tim Donaghy the one that's placing these bets? Why not have like your friend do it? You know, I mean, there's just to add a little, muddy the waters a little bit.
Then you got to pay him something.
I guess. No, I mean,
I don't know.
I'm sure that's actually it. I'm almost guaranteeing that that's probably what it is. But my thing is like, if I was an NFL player, just have me place the bets for you, dude. Like they're just gonna think I'm lucky or something.
I think the NBA, all things considered, we were just talking about sports betting here with the announcement that ESPN Bet is coming. The NBA has done a pretty good job of weathering the Donaghy storm. The NBA has done a pretty good job of getting beyond reports, whether they're true or not, we don't know. But that can do damage to your brand, obviously.
It did, I think, for a while. People would always say, NBA is fixed anyway. It doesn't matter. No, like I don't think so. But I mean, I definitely think that they've done a good job of. I mean, for sure, you're always going to have your skeptics out there saying, "Oh, this is rigged. This is fixed." Ayesha Curry, but you know, for the most part, I don't.
Now you're going after Ayesha Curry.
She's the one who she's the one who threw shots at the. Sorry, it being my bad. Jeez, she's the one who accused it of being fixed. So, sorry, just parroting what she said. But anyways, yeah.
That just seemed like kind of veered out of your lane there a little bit.
No, I think that was definitely right on line.
Curry.
Any way I can, you know.
I do think that's why the NBA has the widely despised last 2-minute report.
Yeah,
I think it's an effort to try to show,
absolutely.
You know, this is all above board,
and we're being accountable.
It doesn't necessarily accomplish that.
No, I think it actually
that's
does
why
the
they
inverse.
started it.
I feel like it usually makes people feel like you're cheating the game even more because it's like, oh yeah, in real time you called it this way, knowing later that you were wrong. Like that sounds like it being fixed to me. I don't know. Yeah, I don't understand the 2-minute report at all. It just causes anger. It doesn't help. It doesn't make anybody feel better about the decision made.
And you know that's why we have commissioners in sports.
Yeah,
baseball.
Well,
made Judge Landis a commissioner after the 1919 the White Sox throwing the World Series.
Right. Yeah.
The World Series.
Wouldn't it be great? Remember baseball commissioners when they like were alive and breathing and like doing things? That's so crazy. Well,
they wanted us to think, some of them for a time there were like, we're looking out for the good of the game. And now that's clearly like, we work for the owners.
We work for the owners, and
we're going to do what they want.
They don't even deny it. Like that is just the prevailing narrative is, we work for the owners. We work on behalf of the owners. The owners pay our check. And if anything, we're your adversaries. Like we say that we're trying to work with each other, but at the end of the day, like I'm going to do what the owners want to do. And I don't really care if you guys are happy about it or not.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny.
I was thinking about Manfred again last night, and you know he has.
Is this going to be a crow bird story or
no?
I was thinking about you guys last night.
It's a Trout story. Do you remember a few years ago, people were talking about baseball players are not popular.
Yeah,
and I think Manfred said, you know, a guy like Mike Trout, he's got to do more. I think he blamed Trout.
He blamed Trout for not being more publicized.
He's got to be more out there, and it's like what?
I mean,
so people said the game's not popular enough. Well, the players need to do more.
That's definitely a whataboutism for sure.
One of the first windows into what an idiot this guy really is.
This guy does not understand sport. Like people say he doesn't watch baseball. I don't think he like watches sport or likes baseball.
Oh, he does. Like, I'll turn that.
I don't think he likes sports in general. Like, I don't think he's ever played, participated, watched. He clearly just has no understanding of how this thing works. Because, for sure, a little bit of that is true.
Turn that to HGTV. I don't want to watch that baseball.
A little bit of that is
Probably
true.
Brothers on.
Yeah, exactly. What is the? Oh man, I was gonna continue the HGTV.
Flipper flop.
Flipper flop. Yes. Is that what it's called? Yeah, flipper flop. Yes, that's what I was gonna say. But completely. I'm sorry, I blanked on my H. It's been a while since I've tuned on HGTV. But yeah, I mean, he's just he has no idea what he's doing. And yeah, I mean, his job is supposed to be to
he just doesn't have any
regulate
idea how baseball works. I don't think.
No.
339-1140 1-800-920-1140
Makes two of us.
JR joins us.
Oh boy.
Sactown Sports. Hey JR, what do you know?
I blame Mike Trout for everything, just so you know. That was a thing for a while.
Yeah.
Hey, the dog, who let that dog out? Oh, Mike Trout. Who let that dog poop on the ground? Mike Trout.
He's getting blamed for everything. Yeah.
Yes, especially since the G-men are playing them right now. How about that Italian guy on the Angels? What's his name? Itachi?
Italian guy? Yeah. Is that what you said?
Yeah, his last name ends with an I, so it's got to be an Italian name.
Sure,
but
he's pitching today.
But hey,
pitching today against the Giants.
I know he is. Yeah, we'll see. Rubber match.
There you go.
Must win.
Right.
Okay. And that leads me to the great commissioner, which we all hate commissioners. Is Bud Selig in the Hall of Fame?
I'd have to check. If he isn't, he will be. I know that. I mean, there's no doubt. If he isn't, he will be, which is kind of sad.
That is very sad. So I know Chris doesn't want to talk baseball talk, but there's a guy that's the all-time home run leader, greatest baseball player ever to play. Yeah, he's not in the Hall of Fame, but Bud Selig is, and that's not right. But coming to town is the Bochy man. So if you're a Giants fan, Friday night. So here's the question for you guys: do we cheer or boo Bochy now that he's Benedict Arnold and switched on us?
Thank you.
I don't know.
Good question. We have the answer to that. Thank you. By the way,
do you really? I love you. Bye bye.
Yeah. Bye bye. Thank you. Yeah. And to answer your question, Bud Selig is in the Baseball Hall of Fame 2017. But you cheer Boch, period.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
He was kind of pushed out of San Francisco after he'd won 3 championships.
Give that man a standing ovation.
He's the best.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
There's no other option but to cheer him on, give him a standing O, and I mean, he deserves it all. I mean, he was obviously a major part of those championship runs. Like, there's, it's not his fault that he's no longer the manager.
Right. I mean, he's just a great guy and a great manager. I'm not really a Texas Rangers fan, but so happy for him.
Yeah, I don't think he meant to. I don't think he wanted to manage again. I just think the Rangers situation was so perfect, and they offered him so much money.
I'm not sure he ever wanted to leave the Giants. I don't know. So. I think they kind of, hey, Boch, thanks for everything.
Yeah, we want to lose now.
Yeah, like we said, thanks for everything.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Yeah. How happy are you for Neemias Queta?
Yeah, I mean, I'm happy for him for sure. Obviously, it's good that, for him, the person to get this opportunity, he's definitely earned it. Absolutely. Like the way he's played and his success in the G League for this franchise, he's done everything that they have asked of him. So, good for him for earning this opportunity. I'm a little skeptical on what his role is going to be. I'm not sure that he really will find some playing time with this team, and they signed him what seems to be to an actual 1-year contract. So he's going to be here to stay.
First reaction was, they only have an open 2-way contract to fill now. So Jordan Ford's chances of making the team now take a blow, sustain a blow. I don't understand it. And Neemias Queta played 5 games last year, and we've talked about this, and everybody knows if you follow him in the G League. He was runner-up G League MVP last year, all-defensive G League last year. He was an all-defensive selection, I think, twice in college. He just hasn't really shown much at the pro level, got hurt in summer league, and now they're signing Queta after they've already brought back Alex Len, and they brought back Nerlens Noel, and they brought back Trey Lyles. Yeah. How many centers can you have? And why would you?
That's the question.
With all the centers you have, why do you want Neemias Queta back?
Yeah.
I don't get it.
I don't
Nothing
either.
against him, but I don't understand.
I don't think if I had to guess, this is more for the 3rd string center spot. If I had to guess, I mean, I don't understand or I can't find where Trey Lyles is going to be getting his minutes if it's not at the backup 5 with them bringing in Sasha. Sasha's a 4. He is not a 3. I don't think he can steal minutes at the 3. I think he is a 4. He can't play small ball center or any of that. So that kind of puts Trey Lyles' minutes as the backup center. And I don't think that maybe like a healthy version of Nerlens Noel is somebody who could compete for that backup spot, but I don't think that Neemias Queta has really shown enough on the pro level to earn a backup center role. So if I had to imagine, this is 3 guys, Nerlens, Neemias, and Alex Len just fighting for that 3rd center spot.
Now, I will say, as far as Jordan Ford goes, they still have an open 2-way slot.
Yes.
You figure if Keon Ellis gets 1 and Jalen Slauson gets 1, then you should still have 1 more slot. So
Yes.
maybe Jordan Ford's going to be on the team anyway.
Yeah,
but Neemias
I'd be
Queta,
shocked if he's not there for training camp.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, I mean, he definitely earned
But
it.
this is just one of those, okay, but why?
Mhm.
Probably not going to have a major impact. But I still wonder if there's somebody in the organization who loves him a lot more than the coaches necessarily do.
Yeah, that's
You said Doug loves him?
definitely a good guess. Yes,
Yeah.
I don't want to just put it on. I've heard multiple other assistants mention it as well, and they've clearly have some faith in him. They've kept him for the past 2 years and have really put a lot of not pressure, but a lot of given him a lot of opportunities to grow with this team. And we'll see. I mean, the thing that I do like is, and I thought it was going to be during Summer League that we were going to find this out, but we're going to get an answer on Neemias Queta. I don't think he's going, if this shot doesn't work out for him, I just don't think that he's going to be back with this team. Good for him to earn the 1-year contract. And, that's NBA money is all guaranteed. So absolutely good on him for that. But if he can't prove to be a rotational player after this season, I just don't want to see him brought back. And that's not bad on him. It's just, when you only have so many spots on your roster that you can use for development, I just think that you can bring in a guy who could be more than a potential backup or 3rd string center.
Are they perhaps still stinging from the fact that Kevon Looney destroyed them on the backboard, especially when it came to offensive rebounding, and they're still looking for, we have centers, but we're not sure we have the right ones.
This reminds me so much of the 49ers quarterback situation.
Yeah, I was thinking of that too.
Funny. It's like, it's almost direct parallels. Like, I think the Kings are just overreacting to last year, searching everywhere, far, wide, under couch cushions for a backup center. And they had no answer. By the end of the season, again, they were going with Alex Len, who had sat all year long, and they had exhausted literally every other option, including Neemias Queta, who, like you said, started or played in 5 games. They tried everything. And I think that this is I don't want to say an overreaction, because, again, we're talking about the last guy on the roster, last guy on the bench. It's really not that big of a deal. He's not taking anyone else's job. But, I just think that this is an overreaction to last year not having any answers. And now they're like, well, one of these 3 guys of Alex Len, Nerlens Noel, or Neemias Queta is going to be a viable solution. We're just going to do a good old-fashioned competition and figure out which one of these guys is the right one, which, it's not failed logic. It's just, I just think that there's bigger and more important holes that they could have fixed.
It doesn't hurt you, obviously.
No.
It's just a question of how much it really helps you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes, that's a perfect way of putting it. There's no harm, but, I don't know if necessarily the result of this battle is going to be anything significant. Again, I think that this is probably going to be for the 3rd center role, which will probably get under 30 to 40 games this season. And, ideally it's not even somebody that you're going to have to play at all, because Sabonis and Trey Lyles can hold it down for the most part.
On the chat, Pike 916 says, we are so deep. And then
Sure.
Arthur Smith says, signing Queta still was a good move contract wise. I'm sure he'll volunteer to go down to the G League and still get his time in, but quietly sounds like trade bait. But trust Mike Brown. Trade bait.
A lot of people have been saying the trade thing. Like, Neemias Queta at best
5
is
games.
He's not. He doesn't have value. There's no trade value there. Nobody is going to give. I mean, Neemias Queta has been available for the past, as a free agent for the past 2 months, and nobody. I don't think his phone had rang at all. He's been available. If anything, he's going to be like just a contract that you throw into a trade. But Neemias Queta is not adding any value to a trade.
Yeah. He's been a good defender at every level so far, except this one, but he hasn't played that much.
No, he has. Yeah, he hasn't played that much, and if that's where he's gonna, if it is gonna work, and I'm gonna try and stay positive here. If
that's not easy for you to
it's
wet
not,
blanket
especially
Wednesday,
on a wet blanket Wednesday. No, not at all.
And now here he is, positive Chris.
Positive Chris. I was gonna try and alliterate that, but if it's going to work out, it's going to be because, yes, his defense, he shows ability to protect the rim, and he's got to be really good on the pick and roll. I mean, he is a massive person. He's just a massive body. If he can set really hard screens and, run a pick and roll effectively with De'Aaron Fox, that can get him on the floor. And, yeah, his mobility is going to be really big. I can't imagine him playing in many playoff series if we want to get –
positive.
You're right. Sorry. God, it's really hard. He can be really good around the rim as well. That would be helpful. Somebody who can clean up the glass offensively and defensively. That's never mind. I was going to go negative there too. He's a big guy, and if he can block shots and set screens, that'd be helpful.
Good job, constructive Chris.
Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it. That was honestly really tough.
Is your Kings Bowl prediction of the day? Is it positive or is it less?
It is positive. My Kings Bowl prediction of the day.
I got a little bit of both in my Kings Bowl prediction. Oh,
I love it.
Coming right back with that. Whitey and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Whitey
and Watkins
on Sactown Sports. The Kings preseason schedule is out, and Sactown Sports has you covered. Preseason stuffs include Vancouver, Anaheim, San Francisco, and Sacramento, with matchups against the Raptors, Lakers, Warriors, and Jazz.
Monk in attack mode, drives inside, right to the rim. Oh, that's the dagger right there. I think the Warriors fans sensed that with that breakdown, the Warriors look like a defeated ball club.
Catch all the action on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com. What's up? We're talking to Chad Hoblet of Hoblet Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, and Woodland. Chryslers make this the summer sales events going on right now, but why drive all the way to Hoblet, Chad?
Because if you go somewhere else, you're paying too much. No one beats Hoblet when it comes to price and service. Right now, you can save nearly $16,000 off MSRP when you lease a new 2023 Jeep Wrangler 4xe. There are so many to choose from and even more lease options. If you need a Jeep that will get you where you need to go and save you money on gas, this is the Jeep for you.
You have any of those Jeep Gladiator trucks, Chad? My buddy loves his.
Yes, we do. And you can save up to $7,500 off MSRP on a new 2023 Jeep Gladiator, with prices starting at $2,000 below employee pricing on certain models. Plus, no one beats Hoblet's service and overall selection.
Stop by Hoblet Dodge in Woodland today for a test drive, or see their entire inventory online at HobletDodge.com. Unbeatable prices, unbeatable selection. Nobody beats Hoblet, period.
$15,900 total net savings for lease option only after $12,250 factory rebates and $3,650 dealer discounts. Rebates include $7,500 federal tax credit. Consult your tax professional for details. Lease offer subject to approval through Stellantis. $7,500 total net savings on 2023 Jeep Gladiators in stock after $7,500 dealer discount. At least $2,000 below factory employee price. 5 each net savings to dealer for details.
Check out Whitey and Watkins now on YouTube. Search Sactown Sports and watch the show from your desk.
How about this? On the chat, thanks again for being with us, and thanks for your participation, and thanks for your efforts to set us straight. Glory to God One says on the chat, Blazers had interest in Neemias Queta. What do you got on that, Chris Watkins?
Did some digging, and an Israeli
you and I are
newspaper.
sitting, we're both sitting here, pardon me, we're saying, I don't think anybody really wanted him.
Yeah.
And there's a report that Portland had interest.
According to Tomer Giavatti,
what
I believe, works for an Israeli newspaper, is a basketball reporter for said Israeli newspaper, reported that Partizan Belgrade, which I assume is overseas, Serbia. Okay, thank you very much, Chris. Not a geography major.
You know where Belgrade is, huh?
Sure, yeah, absolutely.
Belgrade.
Love Belgrade. Yeah, one of my favorites. They were following Neemias Queta's situation, and then he also reported that, yes, the Blazers got into the mix for Neemias Queta per source. But that was really it. That was the only reporting of him having interest in Portland. And, I would say that if Portland really wanted him, they probably could have, gotten him if they really felt so inclined. So
it looks like perhaps, according to this report, there was some
interest. Some interest.
Sorry,
my bad. Exactly. My fault.
Yeah. You also learned a little bit more about Serbia.
I did, yeah, exactly. So
I think we all did.
This is a positive. Yeah, absolutely. I think we all learned something today.
I will say this, as far as putting together an NBA roster, if I were putting together a roster, let's face it probably wouldn't be very good, right? We all think we could do it.
I think you could do great.
Thanks.
I do. I
appreciate
really
that.
do.
If I'm not used to constructive, Chris,
you're welcome.
especially on a
Yeah,
Wednesday.
You're welcome.
At the end of the bench, I would rather have some size than another guard. At the end, I'm talking about the end.
Sure.
You need all of that.
Yeah.
But if I had, at the end of the bench, the guys who rarely play, if I have some size,
Sure.
I feel like that is more useful than a guard who's only playing if two other guys get hurt.
Sure. I hear you on that. And the Kings definitely do have enough guards as well. They could use some size on the end of their bench. I'm not opposed to it. I just am very skeptical that it's going to actually lead to this team actually being better. But I have no overall issue with it. I think for the most part, like somebody said earlier, like it's very low risk. It's not. I think you said it's not bad. It's just it's not. I don't know how helpful it's going to be. It's fine, and it's the last guy on the bench, so it's really not much to get upset about or riled up.
I think ultimately, with all the theories we're throwing around, my guess would be that somebody says, you know what, we're not very good defensively, and he has been a good defender.
Yeah.
So is that something that we can hang on to here? It doesn't cost us a lot.
Yeah.
Sure, let's keep him around.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and
so that who's the other team? Partizan is interested
Belgrade.
In yeah,
exactly. So so someone's seeing something in
and
him.
if Red Star sees what Partizan's doing, they might jump on board too.
Oh boy, Red Star.
I don't know what that.
I don't either.
They're the rivals of Partizan.
Thank you.
Of course.
Okay.
Of course, everyone knows that.
Learned something there.
Yeah.
Kings Bowl prediction of the day. May I go first today?
Please. Your positive and negative bold prediction.
I'm trying to look at all the numbers here and predict whose numbers will improve the most year to year and whose numbers will fall off the most. That's not to say that their numbers will fall off dramatically, but by definition, that's kind of a negative thing. Whose numbers will improve the most? It's going to be Chris Duarte.
Okay.
Chris Duarte, who has already proven as a rookie that he's capable of having a better year than he did last year when he was hurt. He apparently missed playing with Sabonis last year.
Don't we all?
Yeah, 7.9 points per game last year, injury-plagued year with the Pacers. He also had some injuries as a rookie. 316 beyond the three-point line. I'm not going to sit here and say he's going to put up this and this and this, but his numbers are going to be closer to what they were as a rookie, and I think the three-point numbers will come up. The King, whose numbers will fall off the most, I think the math would suggest it's going to be Kevin Huerter, who put up career-high numbers like everywhere. Not saying he'll have a bad year, but 15.2 points per game, career-high 402 three-point shooting. We know what happened in the playoffs. His numbers fell off drastically. Of course, they were playing a team that knew their offense very well. So, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying, oh, boy, Huerter, got to get rid of him. But I think his numbers come down this year, and I think that Chris Duarte's numbers go up. I think Duarte is going to have a really nice year for him.
I definitely agree with you as well. Yeah, I mean, it seems like Chris Duarte is almost a perfect fit for this Kings team, especially like you mentioned with Sabonis being there as well. And it makes sense for Kevin Huerter also to be the one who falls off. Like you said, career numbers last year.
Yeah.
If I had to guess, and it's not really much of a guess, it's more of an educated guess, Kevin Huerter's probably going to average 12 points per game next year. You know why I say that?
I think I do.
his second through fourth year in the NBA, so 3 consecutive years there, 12 points per game, 11.9 points per game, 12.1 points per game his last 3 years in Atlanta. That seems to kind of be his comfort zone. And,
if he flourished in the Kings offense.
Absolutely. Right. But with the extra additions, whether it be Sasha or the uptick from Keegan, or like you're mentioning Duarte as well, there's just going to be less shots to go around. And Kevin's shots mainly came from the perimeter. All 3 of those guys I just said are all heavy perimeter shooters. So I would suspect it's just going to, how about not? We don't say Kevin's numbers fall; they just level out a little bit.
Okay.
Well, that's
we can dance
less
around
negative.
it. Like I said, I'm not saying he's going to collapse.
Yeah.
His numbers will just fall off the table. I also think, as I've been saying, I think Davion's, especially his 3-point shooting numbers, I really think they're going to come up this year.
Yeah. How about this? I got a Davion number for you.
All right.
I'm going to say Davion Mitchell next season will be top 5 in the NBA in charges drawn. He had 15 last year. That's the number that the NBA has on there. I very much disagree with those numbers.
Really?
I swear he had way more than just 15 charges drawn.
Numbers are hard.
Next year, I'm going to calculate them. I really am. I'm going to individually count Davion's
Why
numbers.
in the world would they not count a charge?
It's because it's not really something that's in the scorebook. Like, it's not something that people usually will keep track of. Like, it's not in,
somebody
in any
does.
box score.
It's somebody's job.
No,
You're saying they need a new.
I'm
keep track of
telling
the
you,
charges
they need
person?
yes, they need a new person in charge of drawing
The
charges.
But if you're just paying attention to Davion's, does that mean you have to pay attention to everybody's? Because if they're wrong, they're just wrong on Davion?
No, it's more just like it's showing proof of concept that they're just wrong in general on the numbers. And am I not making? Is that not making sense?
No, you're making sense.
Okay.
Yeah,
it's
just a curious charge, if you will. He had more than that.
He definitely no. I'm telling you because I looked at these numbers throughout the season, and it was at 15 like all the time, and then he would draw more charges, and it would remain at 15. And I was like there's 82 games played in a season. According to NBA.com, the leader in charges drawn had 43. I don't know. That doesn't make
Who was
sense.
that?
It was Jalen Williams of Oklahoma City. And Kevin Love
Which one?
had 33. The first team all rookie Jalen Williams.
Santa Clara one?
Yes, Santa Clara one, exactly. So yeah, I mean, I feel like if Davion, let's see, top 5 last year would have been Jalen Williams 43, according to NBA.com. Kevin Love at 30. I'm sorry. Jalen Williams at 43, Kevin Love at 33.
Kevin Love?
Yes, Kevin Love. Exactly. Kevin Love in 62 games played had 33. Jalen Brunson 27, Kenrich Williams 26.
Another Thunder.
And then Patrick Beverly had 21. So if Davion can get over somewhere near 20,
he's got to stay on the
25.
floor. He's got to stay on the floor.
Well, and that's a part of it
shooting.
as well. Yeah, absolutely. If he can stay on the floor, which I would imagine like to cross over our bold Kings predictions, if Davion can shoot at a higher, more NBA average percentage from 3, get more minutes on the floor, it's going to lead to more charges drawn. And I really think he's capable. He's by far the best King at taking charges. I can definitely see at some point in his career, I think Davion's going to be top 2 or 3 in charges drawn.
Who would you? I know the way you play overall floor game. I know you're out there taking charges. What NBA
talking about
player,
my game?
Yes. What the player you would least want to? And I know you would anyway.
Yeah.
You're not going to make a business decision. Oh, I couldn't get over there.
Yeah.
What do you least want to draw a charge from?
I mean, that's a great question.
Braun's still got to be right up there.
LeBron's got to be up on the list.
I think for me, it might be Jimmy Butler.
Giannis would not be fun to take one.
He's skinny.
Joel Embiid would not be fun. He falls a lot too. He would probably also fall on top of you.
I don't want Jimmy Butler. I don't want Jimmy Butler to run me over.
Yeah.
Also,
Draymond, probably Draymond, because A, it means that Draymond dunked on me, which is already like a miracle. And B, he would probably have some.
He dunked on you. You're drawing the charge.
Oh, drawing the charge. I'm sorry. I was okay.
Yeah.
I don't know why when I imagine charge, it just had to be someone dunking on you.
Anthony Edwards, I don't want.
Ant would be tough. That would be that would be like a bowling ball hitting you. I think Braun is still the number one answer.
The answer is Luka. That's like a locomotive going straight at you.
The problem is, Chris, he's not going that fast. See, like, yes,
like
the impact would hit.
A Nerf guard. Like, what happened?
See, he might envelop you. You just go into
He might
him.
just eat you. Zion. Actually, what do we? I said
Zion. Yes,
Zion.
that 100%.
Zion is the answer. Zion is
when healthy.
Yeah. So actually, not Zion then. Yeah, I think Zion's probably the person that you would want to get the hell out of the way.
Thanks. That's the one.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Knock you into another stratosphere. Like in the superhero movies when someone gets punched and they fly across the room.
Literally.
The
Yeah.
wall.
They like their back slaps on the wall and they'll probably eat you or something. Who knows after?
Hey, that wasn't
nice. That probably wasn't nice. Yeah. Sorry.
Coming up next, who guarantees he'll be
bad.
Who's guaranteeing he'll be the rookie of the year? Well, it's not Wembanyama. Tell you who it is. You'll hear him say it next. Whitey and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
It's Whitey and Watkins on Sactown Sports. Catch the Oakland A's every weekend on Sactown Sports. Friday nights, Saturdays, and Sundays.
Sinking, that's going to get down for a hit. Around third, your score is Tony Kemp. And the A's have taken the lead. Edge of the track makes the catch. And the Athletics get a great win.
Sactown Sports, your weekend home for the Oakland A's.
Sactown Sports coverage of the Oakland A's is brought to you by Xfinity 10G, the next generation network.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Byers Enterprises.
I'm Tamara Berg in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. Under mostly sunny skies and a southwest breeze, plan for daytime highs upper 80s to low 90s and overnight lows back to the upper 50s. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
Wildfires can easily engulf vulnerable homes. Safeguard yours with the Byers Fire Protection Package. Our one-piece seamless leaf guard gutters, roof shingles, vent covers, and more will help prevent disasters when wildfires hit. Learn more about fire hardening your home at thatsbyers.com.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave, and I recognize, just like my friends at American Energy Heat and Air, that your time is important. And that's why shopping for a new air conditioner is now easier with American Energy Heat and Air's online quoting tool. All you have to do is go to AmericanEnergyAir.com and get an instant quote right now. It'll help you determine what system you're going to need to get. It'll provide the best pricing options, all from the comfort of your home without having to have somebody come to your home. You know how annoying that is? They come in and, and everybody there is so sweet and nice, but how much better is it to be able to get it on demand? Visit AmericanEnergyAir.com. Check out how easy it can be. Or if you want to give them a call and talk through what your needs are, 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Y'all ready to do it again? Sacramento Part 2 in Health Park Expo. And more. Plus, a mechanical pool, line dancing saloon, and all the food. Tickets start at $40 or grab your Coors Light Y'all Access passes for $125. For more info, visit SactownSports.com. Country in the Park 2. Brought to you by Shane Company, Attic Man Heating and Air Conditioning, and the United States Marines.
Individual rates, coverage offerings, and savings may vary, subject to terms and conditions, not available in all areas. If you're a small business owner, listen up. Pi Insurance wants to give you one of those aha moments, the kind that could save you money. Workers' comp is probably one of the biggest costs you face. But did you know that insurance providers have flexibility in setting their prices? That's right. But many don't bother giving small businesses the savings you deserve. Instead, you can get lumped in with other businesses and overcharged. Pi Insurance was created to change that. With Pi, you get a quote tailored specifically to your business, and you could save up to 30% with no hassle and no hidden fees. Plus, when you sign up for pay-as-you-go billing, your premium is based on your actual payroll, not an estimate. So your workers' comp audit experience is simplified. Take 3 minutes to see how much you could save with Pi Insurance. Ask your agent for Pi or go to trypi.com. That's TRYPIE.com.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health Sacramento will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding you have low T. Testosterone, energy, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even eating. Maintaining an appropriate T level change. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They help how often they can help you. They even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Sactown Sports.
Announced that they signed center Neemias Queta to a standard NBA contract. The past 2 seasons has two-way contracts between the and the Sacramento Kings. For more on the signing, check out Sactown Sports Kings insider Frankie Cardoselli's report on SactownSports.com. The Oakland A's will try to avoid the sweep this afternoon when they host the Texas Rangers. Austin Pruitt will take the mound against Jordan Montgomery of the Rangers. First pitch is just about 5 minutes away at 12:37. Those are your headlines, and now let's get back to Whitey and Watkins.
Do you know that Basketball Reference says his name is Neemias?
Yes. I think that's like the
Portuguese.
Correct, yes, like the most correct pronunciation is Neemias Queta, but nobody
Nobody
tries that hard, really. I mean,
unless except when he's in Portugal.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But yeah, no, Neemi is usually what people will call him here.
People leaping, or at least a person leaping to your defense in the chat here.
Who is that?
Glory to God won. Davion took a lot of charges that didn't go his way as well.
Yeah.
Well, if it doesn't go your way, you don't get credit for drawing a charge.
Very true. But he is right that
if it's a foul, if it's a block, you don't get credit for being drawing a charge.
But there were some times where it was very clear that Davion had established position and he just wouldn't get the benefit
Toughest
of the
call in
whistle.
sports.
It is. That's what they always say, block charge. But it's, I don't know. I mean, Davion also doesn't get the benefit. He's really small. And so when he gets knocked over, it is sometimes like he's just flopping, or, he's trying to get the whistle. But a lot of the time, I mean, Davion Mitchell is a master at sliding his feet and getting his hips around. I think that he's definitely more than capable of leading the league one day in charges. But
I asked an umpire once, I think it might have been a former umpire, what is the equivalent to charge, block in baseball? What's the toughest call? He said it's a check swing.
Check swing.
And
that's what I guessed. Yeah.
The reason is the rules don't say.
Mm-hmm.
There's
like what's an official too far.
Right. I think in the NCAA it spells it out, but in the major leagues it's like if he offered at it, it's a strike.
Well, that's pretty subjective, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and most of the time, I would always just go down to the whichever line, first or third. I would always say, "What was it?" That's on you, because I can't see, and I would not want that on me at all.
But there, we always say, "Oh, did he break his wrist? Did he go past the plate?" Major League Baseball, there's no rule.
Like official, like not even if he goes more than halfway,
It's
which is kind of
that. It's
generally
did he offer at it or not, and it's up to the umpire to decide. Yep,
did he intend to switch? That's murky. I
So
can
that's
see
a
how
tough one.
Yeah. That's
on the other
really
hand,
tough.
it's so murky that what are you going to do if you're the umpire? Like,
Exactly.
That's what it says, and I thought he did.
Could you? So then I guess you can't challenge that. Then could you?
No,
like
I
that
don't
wouldn't be
believe
a
so.
challengeable offense. That feels like a nightmare waiting to happen. Oh, geez. Because
It happens every so often. It happens.
Ugh.
Us Giants fans about that.
Yeah.
From Manny Too Legit, do you guys think Fox will be a superstar in the near future?
I mean, this is almost a whole separate conversation of what's labeled, what's the definition of a superstar? Like, is he going to be
a player who's widely recognized as an elite impact player? I would say that's a pretty good definition.
okay? Like a Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, a superstar?
It's borderline.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I mean, it would take a lot of repeated King success. I mean,
that's right. I agree with you,
Yeah.
and I think that's the key. Anytime really soon, I don't know, because especially on this team where there's so much ball movement and where you're not relying on one player, it would be contingent upon, like you said, if they have 2 or 3 good years in a row, maybe.
Yeah.
But they don't want him to go out this year and average 35 a game.
No, right.
Not that he
Exactly.
necessarily could, but if they
That's
did
just
that,
not how their system
he's
is,
superstar.
though. Yeah, that's not how the system. Maybe if like Sabonis goes down or something, we would see De'Aaron take a little bit bigger of a role like that, and maybe then he enters the conversation. But with how this team is structured right now, he can definitely get a lot of star power, absolutely. But when I hear superstar, I don't know why, but I think that there's only like 5 to 8 superstars.
In your mind, would you consider Carmelo Anthony in his prime to have been a superstar?
In his prime, yes.
Yeah. See,
because I think
so too,
superstar
but I don't think
is
he necessarily helped the Knicks win that much.
No, and I don't.
So the point being, who cares?
Yeah, exactly. I don't think superstar has to mean like it doesn't have to mean success. You can be like superstar to me is more about popularity.
I agree.
Or like popularity
how you're
factors
perceived.
more into it.
Yes.
Absolutely. Like Russell Westbrook, superstar. Was he
example.
ever the best player on a team that did anything significant? No, definitely not. I mean, not the best player on a team. Like, yeah, he had that MVP season. They made the playoffs for sure, but they weren't making the Western Conference Finals or anything. And I don't know if De'Aaron's play is ever going to be big enough to make him one of those top 8 to 10 guys, but maybe his popularity one day might, but that's where the success is going to tie in.
You are on record as saying many, especially today, many controversial things. One thing you said a few weeks ago was, your take about if Ohtani's a Dodger fan, if Ohtani's a Dodger next year, I'm a Dodger fan. I don't know that I'll ever get over that.
Could happen.
Can I tell you that? I don't know that I'll ever get over that. But anyway, be that as it
Just
may.
wait for if it happens.
You did say weeks ago something that has resonated throughout the basketball world. You said Wembanyama is not going to be the rookie of the year.
I did say that. I almost forgot I said that, but I did say
Wemba
that. And I
what?
do believe it. I do believe it. Wemba who? Wemba. Oh, yeah.
Here's
Wemba
someone.
Yaya.
Here's someone who agrees with you. Scoot Henderson.
Oh, okay. That's good company.
Doing an interview with Playmaker, Scoot Henderson had a bold prediction for next year.
I will win Rookie of the Year. It's just a mindset, a manifestation of that I kind of grew. Never doubting myself. Making sure I'm always playing good. Make sure I'm telling myself I'm gonna have a great rookie season. I'm not saying I want to have a great rookie season. I'm gonna have a great rookie season. I'm gonna have a great career. I will have a great career, and making sure that's always in just past tense because it happened.
Scoot Henderson,
Oh,
I
I
will
love
win
the music.
Rookie of the Year. That's gangsta.
That is, he's calling a shot, man. That's gangsta. I love to hear that he's not even thinking about Victor or nothing, like no mention of Victor. It's just like, if I can control what I can control, then I've got no doubt that it's not even a question. It's just like he said, it's past tense. It already happened because he manifested it into existence. And I think especially if Dame gets moved from Portland before the start of the season, I don't see how he shouldn't be a front runner. I mean, absolutely Wembanyama is going to have his shot, but I would suspect with a dude as big as he is, I don't think he's going to play all 82 games, not even close. I'd be surprised if he even gets to like 65, which would be, if I'm not mistaken, 65 is the new or you can't miss 25 games or whatever. But yeah,
I think he's going to play. I think Wembanyama is going to play enough games. I think the league wants him to be Rookie of the Year. That matters some. I think the Spurs want to play him a lot. I also think Chet Holmgren, I think you like him as well.
He's got a shout.
I mean, I would think second most likely.
Right.
Scoot is like maybe third most likely. He could win. I don't think he will, but there's nothing wrong with saying, yeah, I'm going to win it.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to establish that mindset.
Mhm.
I just don't think he's going to.
I think guards got the inside track. I mean, he's going to have the ball in his hands a ton. He's going to be able to put up, stuff the stat sheet. He's going to get points. He's definitely going to get assists if he's going to be their main point guard. I can see him, averaging like 15, 5, and 5 easy in his rookie season. And, I think Chet is probably going to be, a dark horse candidate that, we don't think about a lot, but I honestly at this point, maybe I could
15 and
crazy.
15, 5 and 5 is basically what he did in the G League.
Exactly.
16 and
I
a
think
half,
he can
6
do
and a
that
half,
easy.
and 5.4 rebounds in the G League.
I think he could do it easy.
Competition's a little better at the next level, Chris.
But there's a lot more pace of play. I believe the clock is longer too. I think I have very high expectations for Scoot Henderson next year. Maybe it's just me, but especially if Dame leaves,
it's not just you.
I really think he's gonna just the excitement level too. I mean, again, Rookie of the Year. Sometimes, most of the time, it's definitely stat driven, but sometimes it can definitely, your style of play can play into the narrative that you deserve it, because I think Scoot's going to be really, really exciting. I think it's going to be, Ja Morant-esque with some of the highlights that we see from him. And I think it's going to be really tough to deny how often he's going to be on SportsCenter top 10. And I think he's going to own social media too. Not that Victor's not, but
it's a player you're overlooking who is almost certain to win Rookie of the Year, and his name is Brandon Miller.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Mr. Vezenkov. I would honestly, truthfully, I'm not even joking. I'm being 100% serious. I would believe more if you were to say, hey, I'm from the future, Sasha Vezenkov actually wins Rookie of the Year, than if you were to say, I'm from the future, Brandon Miller wins Rookie of the Year. I would
down on
it's just not happening. It's not even necessarily that he can't be a good player. I just don't see. I see him looking like Jabari Smith last year, but I don't even think he's got as much to his game as Jabari Smith. And we saw Jabari look great in the summer league, and I think Jabari's going to be a fine NBA player, but he's not
that
a one.
Makes a lot of
he's
sense.
just not a one to me. And I think he's at best a 2, and he'll probably be like a 3rd or a 4th option.
I do think Jabari Smith is going to have a good year this year.
I do too. No, he really
it took him a while to figure it out. And I can see, say, Brandon Miller may take him a while if he ever does.
If he does, because he's got the same kind of profile where he's a long shooter, can't really do much else, can't really put the ball on the floor, can't attack the rim at all, and he's got a lot of skill, but it's, in the NBA, it takes more than just being good at one thing if you're not on a good team.
I'm going to give this to you now because coming up is the game that I can't win.
you're just trying to put it in the. You're trying to make it seem like
Crown of superiority.
Golf.
No, I can't win that game either. But no,
thank you. Pass that over.
Yeah,
Pass that. Give me that. Yeah,
crown
yeah.
of superiority that goes
Appreciate
each
it.
day as it's gone each of the last 3 days, if I'm not mistaken, to Chris.
It's getting comfy.
Ohtani to the Yankees would be the best thing for baseball. We'll find out in the Factor Fantasy Showdown next. Whitey and Watkins on Sactown Sports.
Whitey and Watkins. Sactown Sports.
Jimmy G and the Raiders take on the 49ers Sunday, August 13th from Allegiant Stadium in Vegas. And Sactown Sports has all your coverage.
Kyle's offense versus Josh's offense, just different mindset behind it. So I think revamping the mind like that is the first step, and then just relearning the language. Basically like going Spanish to French, something like that.
The voice of the Niners, Greg Papa, has the kickoff at 1 p.m. on Sactown Sports.
Your home for the 49ers.
Players of all abilities will tell you that Bartley Kavanaugh Golf Course is the area's #1 course for fun. Whether you're a beginner or an accomplished player, Bartley Kavanaugh has something for you. It's a great walking course, but motorized carts are available too. The moderately sized greens and generous fairway landing areas will add to your satisfaction and smiles for the day. Near the banks of the picturesque Sacramento River, Bartley Kavanaugh features the brand new tap room for all your beverage needs. For tee times, visit bartleycavanaugh.com. It's Sacramento's #1 course for fun.
At the UPS store, you can ship it all. We're your bulky sports equipment shipping store, your heavy luggage shipping store, your fancy art shipping store. We're even your I can't believe it's already time for back to school shipping store. So visit your neighborhood We Ship It All store for dependable UPS shipping with easy to use tracking and competitive rates. The UPS store. Be unstoppable. The UPS store locations are independently owned. Product services, pricing, and hours may vary. See Center for details.
Power Business Technology is proud to be 100% independent, locally owned, and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients meet us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a 2022 Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer. Contact us today for all of your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729 or visit us at powercopiers.com.
At your desk, on your phone, in the car.
Whitey and Watkins.
On Sactown Sports.
I admit, I poke fun at Chris Watkins, who's a very talented guy, but a lot of it right now is I'm just trying to get under his skin, trying to rattle him, trying to distract him, because he has been just like a steamroller in the Factor Fantasy Showdown of late.
Yeah, you woke up a beast. I don't know what happened, but I just saw you win all those times, and it just.
I won a couple. By the way, did anybody go back yesterday after Factor Fantasy and check the video that I was talking about, the bear and the monkey in the circus?
No, definitely not. Definitely did not look up.
I was just
bear
curious.
Gets eaten by monkey.
Oh, I would watch
circus.
that.
I'm sorry. Wait, no, I would have watched that. Yes,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Monkey gets eaten by bear. And doesn't just tricycle
anyway.
Also gets damaged. No, I have no interest
Never mind
in
the
seeing.
tricycle.
Look, I'm not trying to see some animal cruelty stuff, man.
Yeah, I would have had a win yesterday, but alluding to that video cost me.
It did.
Fraction of the
I
point.
hope you learned your lesson.
Yeah, that brings us to today's Factor Fantasy Showdown. Here once again, all rise for the Honorable Judge Verlot.
You may be seated. Huh. Interesting that Chris doesn't think he has to stand anymore.
I noticed that too, Your Honor, but it's really not for me to say.
All right, let's get started here. The best thing for baseball would be for Ohtani to go to the Yankees next year. Chris, fact or fantasy?
Yeah, it's a fact.
That's the fact, Jack.
It's unfortunate for all of those of you who are Yankee haters, who is probably everybody who's not a Dodger hater, but it's, I think unfortunately you see it with Aaron Rodgers right now. Going to New York is massive for your star power. And if you put Shohei Ohtani with one of the most iconic franchises in sports, let alone baseball, it's going to be a massive deal. And if they have success with Shohei Ohtani, just all of the national media attention that it's going to get is going to be like, which we probably haven't seen in baseball in a really long time. And I think for, the grand scheme of things, yeah, it would be good for the popularity of baseball if Shohei goes to the New York Yankees.
Best thing for baseball, Ohtani to the Yankees next year. It's a fantasy, and I understand and appreciate where my opponent is coming from. I understand how that would line up nicely for baseball. The thing is, the Yankees, when they're playing well, people don't like them. Obviously, Yankee fans love them, but they're a team like the evil empire. Ohtani, everybody loves Ohtani, and so it wouldn't be good to have the guy everybody roots for to be on the Yankees. That wouldn't make sense. The best place for Ohtani to be next year, and I hate to say it because I don't want to see this, would be left coast with left coast. The Dodgers, I don't want him to go there. I'd be better off if he went to the A's and he said, here's what's best for baseball. Ohtani says, I will go to Oakland if John Fisher sells. Wow. If he sells, I will go to Oakland. Wow. Yeah, and if they keep the A's in Oakland, that's what would be best for baseball. Ohtani saying, yeah, I'll go to Oakland, but you got to sell the team.
This feels like pandering.
Whitey, you're absolutely correct.
God, that is...
Chris, I think you said fact just because you don't want him to go to the Dodgers, because then you'd be a Dodgers fan after that, like you've clearly stated. So, Whitey, you get the first point of the day.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Is that only worth one?
That's only worth one.
Okay.
Sac Republic deserve kudos for making 13-year-old Davion Kimbrough the youngest pro soccer player in American history. Fact or fantasy?
I'm going to go fantasy. I'll give them a kudo, not plural kudos, but I'll give them a kudo because, it is something that's putting them in the national news that they have the youngest soccer player in American history. I have to admit, to me, it feels a little bit like, hey, that's why they did it, like a publicity stunt. So it's nice. Yeah, well done. You got your name out there. But overall, I don't know that it's going to have much of an impact on their soccer future. So I'll give you one kudo. Hey, you got us to look. But this just smells like a publicity stunt to me.
Yeah, I'm also going to say that this is a fantasy. It's like Whitey said. I mean, it does feel like it's pretty much a big publicity stunt to me. Absolutely good for the kid. Awesome. Like, there's no negative in you signing to this signing this contract. And yeah, you will be the youngest pro player in American sports history. Congratulations on that. But it's news when you're the youngest player to actually be like really, really good, which this could be a step towards that. But the actual signing, for sure, it makes headlines. But talk to me when he's scoring goals for the big team. That's when it'll be major, major news. Right now, it just feels like a publicity stunt. Once he starts scoring goals, then it's something to talk about for sure.
I wasn't feeling it from both of you guys. I think you guys said the same thing. I'm going to give you a push. I don't think anyone gets a point on that one. I
said it first.
You did say it first, but...
Sorry, I'm just supposed to readjust on the fly there. I'm not going to disagree with you just for the sake of disagreeing, I'm going to give my honest and
then
real
you're not going to
thoughts.
get a point.
It's bigger than the game. The game, the points are just
Can you
arbitrary.
tell us how seriously significant that is? Because Christopher Lodge.
Yes.
I mean, it's strange because he's 13 and that's crazy, but Manchester City literally just came to a signed agreement with a kid from Stockton a year or two ago. So, I mean, that was whoa, that's the kid they're calling Mexican Messi. So,
and how old is he? Do you remember?
I think he signed when he was 15.
Okay.
So I think he's 16 now. 17. He's 17 now.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome.
No disrespect intended to Sac Republic.
The Kings bringing back Neemias Queta is good news all the way around. Fact or fantasy, Chris?
I think this is a fantasy. I really struggled with this one. I actually don't have any fact or fantasy selected on my paper. I usually like to pre-select. It's good. It's not, again, it's fine that, it's the last player on the roster. It's really not that big of a deal regardless, but all the way around, I still feel like they kind of know what they already have in Neemias Queta, and I just don't feel like this was the right move. I would have liked to see them take a risk on someone else, maybe someone else who like a Nerlens Noel, who has some experience in the NBA. I just feel like I already know what Neemias Queta is, and it's a fine player, but not somebody that I think is actually going to get some real NBA time. So all the way around, no, I don't think it's good news all the way around.
Let's see here. Kings bringing back Queta. Good news all the way around. That's a fact. It's an absolute. I mean, Draymond would say those are facts. Here's why there's no downside. I understand Chris's point that it's not like, hey, let's have a parade. Queta's back. But fans are happy. He's somewhat popular for a guy who hasn't played that much.
Yeah.
Fans like him. The team adds some front court depth to a roster that had some room for that. They still have a little bit of wiggle room. They have one more two-way deal to go. And they don't know for sure what they have yet because he's only played 2 years. He's 24. So it's not like, yeah, this is it. We clinched the title. But it's good news all the way around because there's really no downside to it.
Chris, you had me until you said you wish they would take a bigger jump on someone like Nerlens Noel.
No, like Nerlens.
Like Nerlens.
Like,
so you want them to do the same thing over.
There's no point in arguing. I'm not going to argue with you about the exact words.
Why do you get the point?
Thank you.
All right, we still got time for another. We usually only get 3 questions. We've got time.
We're going into overtime.
Going into overtime. I should be in good shape, but who knows?
And that's interesting. You say 2-0 lead. This is worth 3 points.
No.
This next question. Trey Lance will win more games as a starter this year than Jimmy Garoppolo. Fact or fantasy, Whitey?
That is a fantasy. Jimmy's going to win 5 or 6. Trey Lance is going to get traded. He's going to get traded somewhere. Not sure where. One of the teams that needs a quarterback. One of the teams that maybe a team we can't predict yet because somebody's going to get hurt. It's going to take him a while to learn the system. It's probably not going to be a very good team. Maybe Tampa Bay decides Baker Mayfield, Kyle Trask, let's get Trey Lance. So Trey Lance will be traded because the 49ers love Purdy. They love Darnold. They love Allen. Trey will be traded. It will take him a while to gear up to be a starter where he's going to play. Jimmy, with a coordinator he's familiar with, won't be great, but it will be good enough to win more games as a starter with the Raiders than Trey Lance will win wherever he ends up.
This is a fantasy. This is ridiculous. Trey Lance will not win more games than Jimmy Garoppolo next year because Trey Lance isn't going to start any games. I mean, Brock Purdy, it's been very apparent he is quarterback number 1. As even you have said, Whitey, if Brock Purdy does go down or something happens, I don't even think Trey Lance is going to be the starter at that point. I think it's probably going to be Sam Darnold. And Trey Lance just isn't even going to start any games. He might always be that gadget guy that they bring in for his special packages. But as a starter, no, Trey Lance is not. He's not going to win any games. And, Jimmy Garoppolo will, I can confidently say, win at least one. So for that reason, yeah, it's a fantasy.
You guys both chose fantasy. And there's a push last time, but you guys had different points this time. Whitey, that was wild to get from he will win games, but he's not going to win as many as Jimmy Garoppolo because he's going to be on another team, but he won't have enough time to win as many teams. No, he's not going to be starting for anybody next year. Chris, you get the 3 points and the 4th win of the week.
Come on. Wow. This thing's like memory foam at this point. It just slides right on in.
3 points for that?
Yeah, that was a 3. That was a 3. It's like
I think your toe was on the line.
Nah, that was no. That was pure. It was
once again
30-footer right there.
Scoot Henderson over here called the shot.
Exactly. It's impressive.
He said it in the past because he knew it was
exactly. I just manifested.
I mean, what can I do but accept it?
You could have won, but I mean, that's something you could have tried.
Unfortunately, there is no 2-minute report in fact.
The last 2, in fact, are that's like, I think Tyler Hero might have traveled, and I think Klay Thompson
doesn't make me feel any better. It does not make me feel any better.
There's still L's. So what are you going to do?
Exactly.
Coming up, I'm looking forward to this. What happened in 49er practice yesterday, and why it had so many people checking out the NFL record book. That story is coming right up with the champions once again today, Watkins and me, Whitey Gleason. Sactown Sports.
Whitey
and Watkins
on Sactown Sports. Need the latest on your Kings?
And Nerlens, in all fairness, I mean, he can protect the basket. Very unselfish player.
Looking for the freshest scoop on the Niners?
Trey Lance not being on the roster is an option for them. Why else would they have 4 quarterbacks around? But I don't think
it's the most likely.
Want to find out the latest on the MLB playoff race?
I think Bailey has kind of been the glue to put this all together because you got to have an elite catcher to make a run at a late playoff push.
For all that and more, check out Sactownsports.com.
All new spring deals are here at Lowe's. Start planting your garden this weekend with Bonnie 11.8-ounce vegetables. Buy 4 for $10. Plus, liven up your patios and decks with fresh blooms. Select 1.5-gallon hanging baskets or 2 for $20. Lowe's knows spring. Lowe's knows home improvement. Offers valid through 5/17. In-store only. Actual plant size and selection varies by location. While supplies last, excludes Alaska and Hawaii.
Did you know the average person walks 100,000 miles in their lifetime? It's true. That's a whole lot of stress, strain, and pressure ultimately put on 2 feet. Hi, DC Doug Christie here for the Good Feet store. As a spokesperson for Good Feet, I run into all sorts of surprising foot-related facts. Like despite relatively few Americans being born with foot issues, over time, 75% of all adults will experience painful foot or foot-related problems. By supporting all 4 arches of the foot, the Good Feet 3-step arch support system can help return your foot and whole body to its proper alignment. Come to the Good Feet store for a free, no obligation arch support fitting, then take them for a test walk. Experience the comfort, balance, and support of the Good Feet 3-step arch support system. The Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, Stockton, Modesto, and now Vacaville. Online at goodfeet.com.
Ron had a tax problem he just couldn't handle on his own.
I owed the IRS taxes for over 5 years, but I didn't have any money to pay the taxes.
Those years cost him dearly.
Most of it was fees and interest. It was horrible.
Ron finally called in the pros.
I called Optima Tax Relief, and boy, am I happy I did.
The leading tax resolution firm, Optima, is A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau. They've resolved over $1 billion for their clients. Ron was overjoyed.
They settled my account with IRS. I was ecstatic. They are a lifesaver. They are. I am so happy.
Take Ron's advice and call Optima now for a free consultation.
Yeah, don't do like I did and wait. Call Optima Tax Relief. Do it now. You'll be ecstatic like me.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
When the world's best players get fitted for new golf clubs, they want to see their ball flight outdoors. And why should you settle for any less? The Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio is the area's unquestioned leader in delivering a new age of golf club fitting to Northern California. With 14 trained, skilled professionals to show you how to hit the ball farther and straighter, satisfied customers have increased their yardage, improved their games, and gained confidence. Call 916-808-2531 to get started. That's 808-2531 for longer, straighter drives.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave, and I recognize, just like my friends at American Energy Heat and Air, that your time is important. And that's why shopping for a new air conditioner is now easier with American Energy Heat and Air's online quoting tool. All you have to do is go to AmericanEnergyAir.com and get an instant quote right now. It'll help you determine what system you're going to need to get. It'll provide the best pricing options, all from the comfort of your home without having to have somebody come to your home. You know how annoying that is? They come in and everybody there is so sweet and nice, but how much better is it to be able to get it on demand? Visit AmericanEnergyAir.com. Check out how easy it can be. Or if you want to give them a call and talk through what your needs are, 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
KHTKAM HD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
This is Sactown Sports.
Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
I'm Christopher Ladd with your Sactown Sports headlines. Yesterday, the Sacramento Kings announced that they signed center Neemias Queta to a standard NBA contract. For the past 2 seasons, Queta had a 2-way contract splitting time between the Stockton Kings and the Sacramento Kings. For more on the signings, check out Sactown Sports Kings insider Frankie Cardicelli's report on SactownSports.com. The Oakland A's are in action right now, currently scoreless. Austin Pruitt is on the mound for the A's, while Jordan Montgomery of the Rangers is going for the Rangers. Those are your headlines. So let's get back to Whitey and Watkins.
Some happened in 49er practice that sent fans scrambling for the record books. Before we get to that, I have to admit, after another stunning loss in Factor Fantasy, I sat down and had a little talk with myself. And what I told myself was, and I think we have the audio from Hard Knocks last night, what I told myself was exactly what Robert Saleh told his team last night on, do we have that, Chris Verlad? He was doing something else. I apologize.
How dare.
Yeah, Robert Saleh, the audio of Robert Saleh addressing his team last night on Hard Knocks, because this is the conversation that I had to have with myself. Yeah, after losing once again to you in Factor Fantasy.
All right, you can take your pens out on this one. This is a life lesson for everybody.
Everyone.
For everybody.
Okay.
3 nights ago, I was in deep thought. Deep thought.
This
and
is
I was
you.
thinking about you guys. I was thinking about all the excitement surrounding us, man. All of it.
Everybody
all of
loves
it.
Factor Fantasy.
Did you know that the only bird in the world that will attack an eagle is a crow?
Okay.
It's a crow. That's the only bird that will actually have the balls to attack an eagle. It will perch on the eagle's back and peck at its neck. So rather than fight back and tearing a crow to pieces like it can, the eagle spreads its wings and it soars as high as it possibly can. It keeps going and going and going as high as it can. And the higher the eagle flies, the harder it is for the crow to breathe.
I'm the crow.
Eventually, the crow suffocates, falls back down to earth, and dies.
That's what I told
And I'm the crow. You're the eagle in that story.
Yeah, he's letting you go higher and higher until you.
Gotcha. Until I choke, which is pretty good strategy because I have a tendency to do that.
I've been Googling the story, and there's like stories about eagles and crows like fighting with each other. I have yet to see that they just pass out and die.
Yeah, here's the thing. Eagles often fly to higher altitudes to shake off a group of crows or escape their trail.
A murder of crows.
Yeah. And crows attack eagles because they want to steal their food. That's why they. But anyway, yeah. Crows are relatively smaller species of bird belonging.
Why would the crows hold on? That's my question.
They don't. Apparently, they don't.
Like, why wouldn't you've got your own wings. You don't have to lean on the eagle to fly for you. Just be like, this guy's getting pretty high up there. I think I'm just gonna bail.
Yeah. Apparently, coming from Jets camp, they've got a song that they're going to be singing for themselves. It's "Fly Eagles Fly."
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Because they're the Jets.
Of course. Yeah, I get it. I get it.
And they need to be Eagles.
Yeah,
Believe
there's no Fly
me.
Eagles Fly song already.
I get it. I still like the frog story better.
Jets.
You know what else was soaring through the sky yesterday was some footballs flying off the foot.
Wow.
Of Jake Moody.
I keep hearing about it. The more and more I hear about stories of Jake Moody and this ridiculous leg he's got. I mean, the more I'm just becoming a blind believer that this is just the reality of the situation now, is that the 49ers have taken possibly the greatest kicking prospect since Justin Tucker is what it sounds like.
You may be right. And by the way, someone's asking about do crows have testicles? Yes, they do. On the chat.
Sure.
Yeah.
Thank
anyway, Jake Moody yesterday. Twice they had to. Someone did.
Gotcha, because he said they are the only birds that.
Yeah. So yeah,
gotcha.
Yeah. So Jake Moody yesterday twice was asked to kick 60-yard field goals during the move the ball portion of practice.
Wow.
Both attempts weren't just good, according to reports. They would have been good from 65 yards.
I love that.
Where's the record book?
I love the NFL. I think it's AWS, like their advanced like stats system with Amazon.
Yeah.
They show now for all the kicks, like would have been good from, and I just think that's, I don't know, maybe my mentality is different for kicks, but I just don't think that's a 1-for-1 thing. I don't think you can just say like, yeah, that kick, if he could have nailed that for.
Well, someone said it, Mr. Wet Blanket Wednesday.
Sorry. My bad.
6 players have nailed field goals from a distance of 63 yards. One could argue some were more difficult than others.
Sure.
Let's see here. Brett Maher is part of this elite group. Brett Maher, who's couldn't hold the job with the Cowboys. He in 2019 made a one of these 63-yard kicks. Seabass made one 2011. You may remember.
I do. Yeah.
Yeah.
They always were going for that. Anytime they had a really long kick and there was like, it could have been like 70. They were like, just throw Seabass out there. Maybe he'll drill it this time.
I think that was during a Monday night game, wasn't it? In Denver. And according to this report, apparently Seabass made a 70-yarder during pregame warmups that day.
Ooh.
Graham Gano did it as a game winner in 2018 with the Carolina Panthers. They're down 1 against the Giants. Gano got the ball just inside the post before
That was a Monday night game, by the way.
Yes, Jason Elam hit one 63 in 1998. Tom Dempsey did so in 1970 with the New Orleans Saints. The only kicker to succeed, the only other one, you probably remember this one, David Akers made a 63-yarder, 49ers 2012. I think it was the opener against the Packers, bounced off the crossbar and got through the uprights.
Yes.
Remember that?
Yeah. David Akers that's a throwback name right there. I forgot
Matt
about David
Prater, another Denver kicker, he kicked a 64-yarder.
That's cheating, though. I think kicking in Denver should eliminate a couple yards there. I mean, the air is so.
Jake Moody isn't playing in Denver this year, unfortunately. I mean, they have a preseason game there, but if they were, I'd say
he'll set the record that
78.
day.
Yeah. But you know who has the longest field goal in NFL history? It
I
happened
do.
last year.
Such a good kick.
Yeah,
It was
Justin
so
Tucker, longest field goal in NFL history.
Yeah.
66-yarder.
Game winner.
Over what team?
The overrated Detroit Lions, because they do what they do and they do it well. That's what they know how to do, is just choke and
Ball barely made it over the
It did.
crossbar,
It
but a
barely did.
66-yarder.
It's only right.
Not in Denver.
Nope.
That's the record.
Wasn't a dome, but
so I'm telling you, Jake Moody, just based on reports.
Yeah.
If he's kicking in camp, balls at that's a 65-yarder. He may very well break Justin Tucker's record, and he could do it this year.
He could. I mean, I'm not going to say he will. I mean, it does seem like recently, though, there has been, while it doesn't seem like there's been an uptick in percentages made of kicks, it does seem like, just in general, there's a lot bigger legs in the NFL these days. Maybe they've just figured out that portion of kicking mechanics. But yeah, I think he's definitely got the leg to do it. I mean, if they say that he hit 2 60+ yarders, I mean, that's probably a good sign that he's able to do it consistently. We've heard that he has this massive leg and it's more accuracy that's his problem, but that's
you saying accuracy is his problem.
I would say the stats also said that in college.
When he was in college.
Yeah, that was so long ago when he was in college last year. I think he's definitely got capabilities for sure, and it's just another weapon for the Niners to use if they can now be even further back and still be a threat to get points on a given possession. That just brings up their points per possession to even higher possibilities.
One of the problems looking at the possibility of something like this is, would he even be allowed to attempt to kick that long? Because a number of these that we've talked about, Gano's kick was a game winner. I think I remember that one. Justin Tucker's was a game winner. Prater's came at the end of a half. Sometimes a coach is not going to want to kick one that long because of the field position you give up if you miss it.
Yeah.
So it has to be the right situation. Obviously, end of a half or something. Yeah, go ahead.
Exactly.
What's the harm?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's no harm in doing it.
Fewer chances.
End of the half.
But Moody is going to do it. It's just a matter of.
He's also got to get the confidence from the coach, right? Because Harbaugh. Geez, that's his old coach. Shanahan said in that Tim Comey podcast that he had ultimate faith in Robbie Gould and never thought twice about sending him out. I mean, it's good that he's gaining the confidence with Shanahan. I'm sure these 60-yard field goals is something that everybody's taken note of and noticing, but he's got to get the confidence from his coaches to rely on him to get those. Like he's going to have to really have the trust of his guys in order for him to go out there and attempt those kicks. But the more he makes in practice, the more likely it is that we'll probably see them throw him out there in real games.
Well, I'm looking forward to it. I think it's one of the aspects of the 49ers this year. They could actually be improved. As automatic as Robbie Gould was. He was like a machine.
He really was.
He'd like to be like a machine again for some NFL team, but he's looking for somebody to sign him. But a little more length, maybe another added dimension to this team.
Yeah.
There's already been knocking on that Super Bowl door.
I'm trying to see. I don't think he ever kicked a 30-yard or 60-yard field goal in college. His career long make was of 59 yards against TCU. But apparently that kick also had had plenty of leg behind it. So he was barely short on, I guess, on a 62-yarder against UConn in his
And he was
career,
just a kid then.
Exactly.
He hadn't
And
grown up yet.
Yes, he's Money Moody the man now. So he should, and this is also his first year, which all he's got to do is, to me, he's got to be accurate this year. I think that's going to be the key thing. He can kick as many long kicks as he wants, but if you're kicking 78% or making 78% or something of your below 80% of your kicks, it's going to be tough to.
You're the only one in the world worried about that. You're the only one in the world.
I don't think so. I think that this is the only concern with kickers.
I shared with you that last year he had some.
You shouldn't have. You
accuracy
really shouldn't
issues
have.
in the snow or whatever it
really
was.
Shouldn't have let me know that, because I'm going to hold on to that, and I'm gonna until we see him actually kicking games. I mean, all I can go off of is bringing up old stuff and bringing up his past, and his past is checkered to say the least. But we're only hearing positive things in camp. So
if he misses a kick against the Raiders and my phone lights up, I'm gonna know.
You're gonna be like, I know what that is.
I will say this. I think it's interesting what the Niners coaching said. They told him to go out there and make a 60-yarder. Was his coaches in college just not telling them to make it? Maybe they're just saying kick it.
Just kick it.
Just kick it.
Yeah. And now they're like, hey, you should try. Make it. Oh, okay. I didn't think that was the goal. Okay. Yeah. I mean, that's a possibility.
There's a few years ago. This is many years ago, probably 20-something years ago. Was it Jose Cortez? Was he the Raider kicker? And he shanked one. It would have been an easy field goal to beat. I think it was to beat the 49ers. It was an easy kick. And then we did this on this station, and we were carrying the Raider games at the time. And we said, that's so easy. We went out to somewhere like ARC or somewhere. And the guy who caught the ball was listening. He said, I have that ball. We said,
my God.
Bring it out.
Yeah.
And it was me and Justin and my brother Phantom. It was like, oh, yeah, that's so easy. And we tried making the kick. We couldn't.
Chris, if I'm not wrong, doesn't Jason Ross swear he can hit like a 40-yard field goal?
I think he said 30-yard field goal.
30-yard field.
And he says, like, he doesn't even question it.
Yeah, no, he's like, yeah, I can do it.
Has he tried it? It's not as easy as
he said that he has done it.
He's like and Jason's not like one to just throw that kind of stuff.
I know
out
that.
There.
I know.
And like
I've
he
played
said
golf
that
with him. I've played basketball with
Yeah.
him, and when he says I can do that, usually he can do it.
He can do it.
And like his point was, he kicked a Nerf ball in the garage, and then he said that he actually kicked some at Sac State, I believe, a few years ago.
We gotta get that tested out, because he's at like you said, Chris, like he's just very much like, yeah, like I can absolutely, like, no question in his mind.
At his age, it would be very impressive.
How close would Dave have to be to make a field goal?
I don't think Dave could make it like from the line. Like if you put it in the end zone, I don't think Dave,
I just want to see him kick.
I feel like he would hurt something.
We got to have our own kicking
We should,
competition.
punt, pass, and kick
Sactown
competition.
Sports kicking competition.
Yeah.
Jay Ross, a heavy favorite.
I would say so. I think Jay Ross
minus 350 so far.
Yeah, something like that for sure.
That would actually be fun.
It would be really fun. If any schools want to offer us their field and possibly a football as well.
Oh, they'd have us do it at halftime of the game.
Sure, why
no
not?
Thanks.
Yeah.
Don't need that in front of people.
I perform better with a crowd.
Coming up next, how many times this season will the 49ers hold the quarterback advantage? Chris breaking it down for us next on Sactown Sports.
It's Whitey and Watkins on Sactown Sports. Will Brandon Ayuk emerge as a star in the Bay this season?
Now going to throw for the end zone, wide open, Brandon Ayuk.
Can Fred Warner lead the Niners defense to another deep playoff run?
And Fred Warner with the INT. Pick City, baby.
Will Brock Purdy hold on to his starting quarterback job?
Purdy going to drop back to pass, try to run forward and go to the end zone standing. Down and Purdy, baby.
Tune into Niners at 9 every day on the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
On Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health Sacramento will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Hey, you want to be around people having a great time? you need to come check out Capital Casino, offering the most varieties of table games in the region in the friendliest environment. Come for the food, which is awesome, of course, and stay and play. Conveniently located in downtown Sacramento at 411 North 16th Street, right there in downtown Sacramento for over 20 years. Cap Casino, best food, best games, and of course, the best action. And please gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
Check out Whitey and Watkins now on YouTube. Search Sactown Sports and watch the show from your desk.
Check out Whitey and Watkins while Watkins and Whitey are checking out the Little League World Series. And Chris had a question a few moments ago. I didn't know the answer. He just, wondering aloud, as maybe you have, if you've watched any of this. How many players have played in the Little League World Series and the Major League Baseball World Series?
Yes.
And it looks like 14. Again, this is one of those things where the research is a little spotty, but this is interesting to me. So 14 players have played in the Little League World Series and the Major League Baseball World Series. One of them is a current Giant, and there's only one of them who won both the Little League World Series and the Major League Baseball World Series, and he was a Giant.
Is Jock Peterson one of them? He feels like he would have been a good little leaguer.
Don't see him on the list here.
Okay.
Michael Conforto.
Okay.
Yeah. Also, current players, Lance Lynn's on the list, Cody Bellinger. But Michael Conforto, let's see, 2004 Little League World Series, then actually 2015 World Series. Yeah. And then the only guy to win both, he won the World Series as part of the Giants in 2014, and he won the 1994 Little League World Series with Venezuela, Yusmeiro Petit.
Really?
I didn't know
that.
Yeah.
That's really interesting. I'm surprised that even 14 have made if you just would have said 14 have played in the Little League World Series and played in the majors in general, I feel like that would have been an acceptable number. I'm shocked that even that many have or even more have just made the league in general. I feel like, this is just kind of one of those things that it's like, oh yeah, you're successful as a kid, but it doesn't actually end up leading to any major success in the future. Like, I feel like basketball would be more of like, you could predict more future stars, but no, that's probably a number that the Little League World Series should be proud of. That's a good amount of players.
And I'm sure Ace fans remember Carney Lansford. That's the first name that came to mind. That's the only name that came to mind when you mentioned it. But Carney Lansford, 1969 World Series, Santa Clara. And then, of course, he played in the World Series with the A's, 3 World Series with the A's.
Didn't Sacramento have a team win the Little League World Series? Isn't that what the airport league was? Like, I know, like near the airport, like on Freeport or off Freeport, there's like, they have a sign that says like home of Little League World Series champions, 1971 or something like that. I could be wrong, but I swear there's a sign.
Do you want to hear the story about when Carney Lansford yelled at me?
Yes.
Okay.
Please.
The first time I was down at spring training.
Did you make fun of some traumatic moment of his playing career?
No, I did not. I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know anything about anything. And all I knew is I have to get sound from players because tomorrow I got to go on the radio and have sound from the players. So I'm just sitting there and they're practicing. Carney Lansford, I'm in the dugout in Phoenix Stadium by myself. Carney Lansford comes in and there's no one else around. I go, hey, Carney, do you think I could ask you a few questions? He goes, I'm working.
You want to go?
I said, good. I gotcha. All right.
Sorry. Yep. That's my fault. That is sorry, sir. That's on me. That's on me. Yes, you're clearly working right now. Sorry.
And that's how you learn.
And that is how you learn that there is press time. Okay.
Yeah.
And that was not press time.
There's maybe other ways he could have said it, but that's fine. He got his message across.
For sure. But like, you were some punk kid that was hanging out in the dugout and he was like, I don't want you to be here again.
I get it.
Yeah.
This is practice. We're practicing right now.
Yeah. Not great.
Live Nation has got your plug to check out Sebastian Maniscalco, Hard Rock Live in Wheatland. I mean, people started calling before we even asked for it.
I know. That's really crazy.
Hit up the Folsom Lake Honda hotline right now looking for caller number.
Cinco. Actually, you know what? We did 5 the other day. We'll do 4. Caller 4.
Okay.
I'm
caller
sorry.
number 4.
Number 4.
We can go higher numbers too,
I don't think so. Don't we only hold 5? I don't want to like hang up on like 8 people and then be like,
give
number 9.
people a chance. Yeah. All right. So it's caller number 4.
No, you got to get in quick. You got to make sure you're listening.
More information, visit SactownSports.com. Sebastian Maniscalco, Hard Rock Live, Wheatland. Good luck. Caller number 4.
Yes.
You're on your way, and thank you for listening.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. I know you asked a question much earlier today about the 49ers and the quarterback situation.
Mhm.
It's hard to know the answer to this, but assuming Brock Purdy is the guy, in how many of the 49ers games this year will they have the so-called quarterback advantage?
Yeah. So let's look through their schedule for this
Let's
year.
do it.
And let's just, I'll give my thoughts, but if you disagree or anything like that, just feel free and chime in.
The only thing I would say is that the quarterback advantage doesn't matter as much to the 49ers as it does to a lot of other teams.
Absolutely.
That's all I'd say.
But it is still something that should be, if anything, I mean, this could be it could be that can be true, and the Niners still could have a quarterback advantage in a majority of their games. We'll see. So week 1, the San Francisco 49ers go against the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Advantage 49ers.
I would say so, right? Yeah, I mean, I don't think Pickett has shown enough necessarily to say that he's better than Brock Purdy. Week 2, Matt Stafford and the Los Angeles Rams. I would say that's probably advantage Rams. If we're just doing straight up Matt Stafford against Brock Purdy, yeah? Agreed?
If he's healthy, yeah,
In
sure.
week 2?
Yeah.
Okay. We'll give it to Stafford.
I'm with you.
Yeah. Here's an interesting one. Daniel Jones. I would probably call this a wash.
Come on.
I'm not a big Daniel Jones guy.
I'm not either. Brock Purdy.
Oh, okay. I was like, I'm not going to give it to Daniel Jones for sure. If anything, we'll give it to Brock Purdy. Why not? We'll give it to Brock Purdy.
Well, I mean, if you have a hard time with that, we have to have
Verlad, any thoughts?
But to me, this is kind of a no-brainer.
Brock Purdy.
I think so. Okay. Well, if you check the QB tiers list from Mike Sando, that very, very much disagrees. I think Daniel Jones was like 18 or something like that, and Purdy was 24. Not that should be the end all be all, but anyways, let's move on. Week 4, play the Arizona Cardinals. Now, Kyler Murray will be out for that game, so it'll be either Colt McCoy or Clayton Tune. We'll give that one to Brock Purdy. That is 3-1 for you guys keeping track at home. Week 5, Dallas Cowboys, Dak Prescott. We'll give that to Dak.
Dak is
following
whack.
week 6, Deshaun Watson and the Cleveland Browns. Want to give that to Deshaun? I think so. If we're just talking quarterback for quarterback,
You just don't know. I mean, which Deshaun Watson is he going to be? Okay, I'll give it to Deshaun Watson based on what he did.
those are fair questions.
2 years ago,
Yes.
but fair enough.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking obviously Brock Purdy in his system is a much higher quarterback, higher on the list than I'm just talking raw quarterback for quarterback, any
Brock
situation.
Purdy gets the next one for sure.
Brock Purdy, Kirk Cousins. I think even Kyle Shanahan would tell you Kirk Cousins.
Kurt! Ah!
Joe Burrow following
Hey,
week.
hold on. We're not done yet.
Will he even be the quarterback then?
All I read about the Vikings is we're not worried about Kirk Cousins' contract.
They're not.
Which clearly
Because they're not going
That's
to bring him
all they're
back. No,
talking
they're
about.
not going to bring him back. They're not concerned about his contract because he's not going to be here next year.
I honestly think that's a lot closer than you say, but clearly we have to give it to Kirk Cousins, for now.
Joe Burrow.
Joe Burrow, yes.
Give that to Joe Burrow.
That's
Then
October
it's a bye
29th,
week.
right? Yeah.
Yes, October 29th. So then it's the bye week in week 9. Obviously, there's nothing there. Week 10.
Trevor Lawrence.
Trevor
It's phenomenal.
Lawrence. Give that to Trevor Lawrence. Here we go. Week 11. Going to give that to Brock Purdy as they are playing
Does Brock
the Tampa
have any
Bay.
brothers? I mean, I'd give it to them. Over
Yeah. I give it to Brock's dad.
Yeah.
Anybody over Baker Mayfield and or Kyle Trask.
Yeah.
We'll give that one to Brock Purdy. Week 12, we have Seattle and Geno Smith.
I think Brock Purdy is a better quarterback than Geno. He's not a better quarterback than Geno was last year.
I agree.
I'm skeptical as to whether Geno can do it again. So I would say Brock Purdy.
Okay.
But I've just nothing but the greatest admiration for the job Geno did last year.
Absolutely. Week 13, Philadelphia. We're going to give that to Jalen Hurts.
Yes.
Week 14 again, Seattle. We're not going to count
I'm
that
going to
twice.
give that one to Geno because he was so good last year. Seriously, I would split
We'll
him.
give one. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
He earned that.
Okay. We'll split them. And then week 15, Kyler could be playing.
I don't care.
You think Brock Purdy's a better quarterback than Kyler Murray?
I don't care.
I just think they're such a mess that. Okay, I mean,
It's
I understand.
quarterbacks. It's
By
just
the rules
quarterback.
of the game,
It's just quarterback.
He could be back, but we don't know if he will be or not.
That's a great point. I'm going to count it as one for Kyler Murray. Week 16, Baltimore Ravens, Lamar Jackson.
Lamar Jackson.
Washington, week 17, I think we'll give
unless
that
Sonny
to
Jurgensen's coming through that door.
We're going to give that to Brock Purdy.
Yeah.
And then week 18, LA Rams, Matt Stafford by week 18, if he's still upright, very much doubtful. How about we split that one as well?
Yeah, we'll split all the division ones. That seems fair.
Yeah, I don't know if this was a productive exercise, but that puts them at 8 games for the advantage, 9 games in the disadvantage. So do with that information whatever you will. I think, if anything, that just shows that, Brock, for all the worry about quarterbacks, I mean, they're going to have the QB advantage in pretty much half of their games. And then, like you said, I mean, the team is so dominant that kind of changes the equation on things. And for the most part, a lot of those teams that we mentioned were very quarterback dependent. And, if they are only up to the Vikings, if Brock Purdy and Kirk Cousins have a stalemate and you can't really pick at the end of that game who had the better game, I would say that's huge advantage 49ers. So if anything, I think it's a really big positive.
We'd have to go back over it with a fine-tooth comb, but just the way we just did in my memory here, I think when the 49ers were at the disadvantage, it wasn't necessarily that dramatic. I mean, clearly there's times like Burrow, Lamar Jackson, but there were a couple times where like Brock Purdy's way better than whoever.
Even like Daniel Jones, right? There. Exactly.
Yeah, so
I think if anything, it's a massive positive. And again, I think it might just mean that it's just completely overblown how big of a question mark the 49ers quarterback is. Like, at worst, in half the games they have an advantage, and at best, I mean, they at their best, I think they have the advantage more times than not.
What if football being football? What if it's Sam Darnold in there that we're talking about?
I mean, that changes it a little bit. It changes it, but even then, how many of those answers are really different? Even if it's Sam Darnold, like I would say, for sure, I would give Daniel Jones the advantage over them. Maybe Kenny Pickett with where he's at, but besides that, I don't really know if it's changing much besides some of those division splits. Like, I think the 49ers, I mean, and it's been talked about to death, but I think the 49ers quarterback situation is more than fine.
Coming up next here, a little tribute to the A's. Boch and Marcus Semien weighing in on the A's potentially leaving Oakland. You have to hear what they had to say. We'll have that for you next year. Whitey and Watkins on Sactown Sports.
Whitey and Watkins. Sactown Sports.
It's the Golf to Go Hour with Frank LaRosa. Thursdays at 6 p.m. and Saturdays at 8 a.m. on Sactown Sports. Get the latest on equipment, area courses, people who play the great game, and plenty of good conversations about golf. Golf to Go. Thursdays at 6 p.m. and Saturdays at 8 a.m. on Sactown Sports. Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, America's most awarded golf facility. Naturewood Home Furnishings, where it's all about choices and always about quality.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Bonnie.
I'm Tamara Berg in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. Under mostly sunny skies and a southwest breeze, plan for daytime highs upper 80s to low 90s and overnight lows back to the upper 50s. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
It's been said an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And when it comes to a nice, cool summer, it's so true. Right now, get a complete air conditioner tune-up for just $79. Bonnie. Plumbing, sewer, electrical, heating, and air. Bonnie.com. Some restrictions apply. License 696-355.
Only one radio program captures the excitement of hunting and fishing as it happens. The award-winning California Sportsman with Sep Hendrickson. Only California Sportsman takes you where the action is. Live on the water, live in the blind, and live with the top pros and experts in outdoor sports. California Sportsman with Fishing Hall of Famer Sep Hendrickson is your premier destination for all things outdoors. Sep's Saturday Morning Outdoors. Ultimate Bass and California Sportsman, 5 a.m. to 8 a.m. Saturdays on Sactown Sports 1140.
If you want to hit the golf ball farther and straighter, the Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio offers you the opportunity to experience the same technology and major brands used to fit PGA and LPGA Tour professionals. The Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio is an indoor facility that opens onto the driving range so you can see your all-important ball flight. With the advantages of cutting-edge technology and analyzing your ball flight, the Hagen Oaks professional staff will make you a better player. Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio, Fulton Avenue at Cap City Freeway, or call 916-808-2531. That's 808-2531 for longer, straighter drives.
Y'all ready to do it again, Sacramento? Country in the Park 2 is coming to Heart Health Park at Cal Expo Saturday, September 9th with Cole Swindell, Chris Jansen, Dylan Scott, and more. Plus, a mechanical bull, line dancing saloon, and all the food. Tickets start at $40 or grab your Coors Light Y'all Access passes for $125. For more info, visit SactownSports.com. Country in the Park, too. Brought to you by Shane Company, Attic Man Heating and Air Conditioning, and the United States Marines.
Listen to Oakland A's baseball on the weekends all season long right here on Sactown Sports, beginning with the pregame show brought to you by Xfinity 10G, the next generation network.
Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
I'm Christopher Ladd with your Sactown Sports headlines. Yesterday, the Sacramento Kings announced that they signed Neemias Queta to a standard NBA contract. The past 2 seasons, Queta had a 2-way contract splitting time between the Stockton Kings and the Sacramento Kings. For more on the signing, check out Sactown Sports Kings insider Frankie Cardoselli's report on SactownSports.com. Oakland A's are trying to avoid the sweep this afternoon as they host the Texas Rangers. It's currently 1-0 A's at the end of the 3rd inning. Those are your headlines. Now let's get back to Whitey and Watkins.
How about this, Chris Watkins? Dear listener, I have a friend. I won't say his name. I believe he bets somewhat heavily on the Little League World Series.
He has a problem. He seriously has a problem.
He bets on a lot of things, sports bet,
Hopefully it's not one of the players.
It's not. It's not.
If you want to talk about shaving points as a little leaguer,
you just fall on the ground.
I mean, he takes it very seriously, and I
child.
believe he wins. I think he's won some money.
I don't think there's any winners if you're betting Little League baseball. It sounds like sorry, I don't want to disrespect a friend, but it sounds like a kind of a loser thing to do, honestly. I mean, come on. Like, if you're doing
he's very successul.
I wouldn't say loser,
in our
more
business.
scumbaggy.
I mean, if you're doing any sort of like background research on 11-year-olds, I mean, there's a lot of issues with that. There's just tons. Like, I feel like I don't even need to state what is wrong with knowing information.
All right, I asked what you thought of it, and
detailed
you
information about
giving me your opinion. I appreciate that. Yeah,
you disagree? Do you think that's fine? Is that above board? Like,
it's not something I would do.
It's not something I would recommend. It's not something I think is advisable. It's also, I mean, betting on college is tough enough because kids are, those college kids are, you never know if they're at a frat party the night before or anything. These kids, I mean, they could be up all night playing video games.
Well, it gets back to a key point, I think. And I know we talk about this because ESPN Bet, they announced that they've got this new sports book that's coming out. Some people really have a hard time enjoying watching sports unless they have something writing on it.
Yeah, that's, I can't relate to that at all. I think it enhances your sports watching experience. It gives you maybe something to root for in a game where you didn't have anything to root for. And I get that, but I don't understand people who, I just don't think you like sports at that point. If you have to bet and have skin in the game in order to care, that just means that you don't like sports, in my opinion.
I think my guess is that it becomes almost addictive. Like, I'm rooting for my favorite team, and then when I bet on my favorite team and I'm rooting for them and then they win, ooh, I like that feeling.
Terrible strategy.
Bad strategy. The strategy is you're supposed to bet against the other team that you're playing. So that way it's a win no matter what you win. If your team loses, you still win money.
Your blood money?
Hey, man, money's green.
Bet against the team that you like.
Yes.
So no matter what, you win. But
either way you win.
You also lose.
Not really. Because either your team wins.
Who's not a sports fan?
I mean, I don't do that. This is not me who's doing it. I'm just saying if I were a bettor, that would probably be my strategy. Because then, if the Kings get annihilated, at least I profited something out of it instead of these people who are just walking out of this arena empty-handed and sad that their night just got ruined. Instead, I'm like, I mean, that sucked, but at least I profited and benefited from it.
If the Kings won, you would be happy that you lost money.
I wouldn't be happy that I lost money.
See,
but
so that ruins,
it's a good consolation prize.
Window.
Doesn't pencil out.
No,
I know what you're saying, but it doesn't in reality.
It does. I'm telling you, it does. I mean, not that I would know, but I'm just Theoretically, if I could put myself in that situation.
In theory, it makes sense, but in practice,
I'm telling you, it works. It works.
I would be upset if the Kings won and I lost $20. Like, I wouldn't be upset, but I wouldn't be as happy.
Yeah,
you got. Yeah, I mean, you can put other. I mean, that's just one of your bets. I'm just saying, hedge your emotions.
Oh, so make more bets. Yeah, it's the key to it.
Absolutely, yes, exactly. It's not just one bet, of course. You can't just make one bet. That's crazy. No, you gotta.
When I was
gotta lay down at least 5.
8th grade at Franklin Junior High in Vallejo, a friend of mine started his own sports book, and I put him out of business like day 2 because
really?
Like, he called me up. You want to bet?
Yeah.
It's like I bet on all this stuff like hit. And he's like, I ran him out of business like day 2. Yeah.
Some sports book. Did you hire Goonies to go after him?
No, I didn't.
Oh, I should have.
I didn't do
so
that.
You beat the house.
Yeah.
Yes.
Very rare occasion. Wow.
And he went on to go to Davis, where he was student body president. And
Loser.
I think he worked and may still work for a state senator. But anyway.
It sounds like you ended up on top. Ba-da-ba. Another win for Whitey. Come on.
Be that as it may. Boch is in town. The Giants are going to be hosting Boch and the Rangers.
Yeah,
right?
what is this weekend? Yeah.
And I know JR was asking, are Giants fans
JR,
cheer
come
Boch?
on.
Of course they do.
Yes.
But Boch was asked, he was at, of course, they're wrapping up their series with the A's. Bruce Bochy was asked about, hey, what do you think of the fact that the Oakland A's may be leaving the East Bay? Here's what Boch had to say about that.
I hope they keep trying. I love my time that I had here, the exciting games that we played here. I feel for the fans.
Yeah, and there he's trying to be careful there, but he's a good guy, and he does. He does feel for the fans.
He definitely feels for the fans. He had such a great time, and I love Bochy's voices. It's 10 out of 10. But yeah, I mean that's really cool to hear, and he's obviously spent tons of time in the Bay Area, and it's obviously not going to do anything to keep the A's there, but it's good to hear that Bochy looks fondly upon those times. Yeah, exactly. He gets it. He spent enough time in the area. He knows what that means. To
Marcus Simeon's with the Rangers now. Of course, he's from the East Bay. Right. He talked about, and he wanted to stay with the A's, and that was one of the beginnings of this whole thing unraveling. You got a guy's like, I want to be here.
I think Mark Hanna said that it was either Mark Hanna or some. It might have been Chris Bassett, but they said the moment that the A's didn't sign Marcus Simeon was when everyone in that in that clubhouse knew.
It might have been
none of us stand a chance.
Somebody,
yeah, they were just like, none of us stand a chance. I mean, this is a kid that, like you said, is from the East Bay. They brought him up and brought him from second base to being an elite shortstop. And if they weren't going to bring him back, what hope did any of those other guys stand? And that ended up playing out almost exactly. Like they kept none of those guys.
Here's Marcus Simeon on the A's, maybe leaving.
I don't believe that they're moving until they're actually gone. I'm an East Bay resident. The A's mean a lot to this community. The A's are a reason I wanted to play baseball. I got to come here and watch Major League Baseball, just hop on Bart and sit in left field and watch the best of the best play. So that, them being in the Bay Area is the reason I'm here.
That sucks, man. That's
it does.
Trash. That's the kind of thing that you don't really factor in for when you're moving or completely uprooting a team. You're potentially losing future stars who fall in love with the game by going, like Marcus said, you just go to games as a childhood, you go with your family, you build memories there for the rest of your life. And a lot of people, that's how they fall in love with the sport to start with, is just by going to the games when they're young and having it be easily accessible. And Marcus
Ricky Henderson talked about that at his Hall of Fame speech. He talked about watching the A's through the holes in the fence,
right?
And then in the parking lot trying to get an autograph from Reggie Jackson, and Reggie Jackson was a jerk, and Reggie Jackson's laughed and was like, I don't think Ricky Henderson thinks it's funny. It was a great speech, but again, just talking about people growing up there watching the A's. Now, if you're a cynic, you could say, well, now people in Vegas will get together, get kids in Vegas.
Yeah, no one asked. No, I mean, for sure, I guess, but no, I mean, it just sucks. I mean, that's just one of the things that you don't really think about when they're moving or completely uprooting the team. And it is cool to hear Marcus still think about the A's like that. I mean, even after they pretty much left him out to dry. And like you said, he wanted to stay there. The fact that he still can put all that stuff aside and understand that the team means a whole lot more to him than just the time he spent there. It's really cool to hear, but it just sucks, obviously, the context in which it's said.
One of the most significant symbols of all this, because a player from Oakland who was there when they started dismantling it, and that's what it was. It was a dismantling of this team. It was an intentional dismantling.
Yes, yeah.
What their end goal was. Some
Still
say
don't
that
know.
Fisher at some point really did want to stay there.
Yeah.
But then with the pandemic and everything, it got to a point where it wasn't feasible. But they had a really good team just a few years ago.
It was so fun. Oh my gosh.
They tore it down.
Yeah. I might be sitting here being an A's fan concrete if they would have put that team together, because that was really that got me excited about baseball, just watching those teams, the amount of hitting that they had on that squad. It was really, really fun team to follow. Marcus Semien obviously was a big part of that. Matt Olson, Matt Chapman, they were really, really good. And Ramon Laureano making ridiculous catches every night. They were a really fun team. And then
even for you, and you
even
don't
for
even like
me,
baseball.
exactly. I'm not even joking. Like, I would watch A's games, especially once they traded for Marte that second half of the season.
Yeah.
It was really, really exciting to watch, and they just completely threw it away after that year. It was really like, this is our one attempt at trying to actually win something, and then after that, it was just completely blow it up.
Hey, we still got a few donuts left in the box. Coming up, we got the crossover. We haven't had story time in days. We're overdue for story time. And I'll tell you about the NBA player who was fined today for something that happened in April. Next, Whitey and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Whitey
and Watkins
on Sactown Sports. How many national TV games will the Kings have this season? Will the Beam Team get the respect and schedule they've earned? When the NBA schedule drops, we've got you covered on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
Did you know the average person walks 100,000 miles in their lifetime? It's true. That's a whole lot of stress, strain, and pressure ultimately put on 2 feet. Hi, DC Doug Christie here for the Good Feet store. As a spokesperson for Good Feet, I run into all sorts of surprising foot-related facts. Like, despite relatively few Americans being born with foot issues, over time, 75% of all adults will experience painful foot or foot-related problems. By supporting all 4 arches of the foot, the Good Feet 3-step arch support system can help return your foot and whole body to its proper alignment. Come to the Good Feet store for a free, no obligation arch support fitting, then take them for a test walk. Experience the comfort, balance, and support of the Good Feet 3-step arch support system. The Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, Stockton, Modesto, and now Vacaville. Online at goodfeet.com.
For nearly 20 years since Bartley Kavanaugh Golf Course opened near the banks of the Sacramento River, it's been Sacramento's #1 course for fun. Perry Dye of the famous Dye family of golf course architects designed the course to be an easy walk, but motorized carts are available as well. You and your friends of all abilities will find Bartley Kavanaugh featuring a brand new tap room is a great place to play golf. After your round, relax on the outdoor veranda overlooking the course with a cold beverage or a tasty meal. For tea times, visit BartleyCavanaugh.com. It's Sacramento's #1 course for fun.
Do you find yourself stuck in a timeshare? Get the real facts about the timeshare industry and your options for cancellation. Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, has put together a free information guide that reveals the secrets the timeshare industry doesn't want you to know, including the 5 ways to get rid of your timeshare. Call now and get this timeshare information guide absolutely free. Call 800-785-1155. That's 800-785-1155. 800-785-1155.
Ready for a sizzling football season? Take your game day parties to the next level with Napoleon Prestige Grills from Green Acres Nursery and Supply. Fire up the grill and score big with mouthwatering burgers, juicy steaks, and finger-licking wings. Napoleon Prestige Grills bring the heat and come complete with a lifetime warranty. Get your ultimate game day companion today. Visit your local Green Acres Nursery and Supply and elevate your tailgate experience with Napoleon Prestige Grills. Green Acres Nursery and Supply, your one-stop shop for grilling greatness this football season. Visit idategreenacres.com for the store near you. Game on.
Hey, it's Carmichael Day for my good friends at Fire Wings with some bullet points for you to remember so you can be a professional fire wing eater. Like Wings Day Wednesday, 88-cent wings each and every Wednesday. 3 flavor lineup includes 7 classic wing flavors, 7 dry rub wing flavors, 7 fusion wing flavors. It's the perfect fast casual eating establishment for the entire family. Go to firewings.com or download the app, find a location near you, order online, earn rewards. Times Fire Wings. Just wing it.
Increase leads and get more customers. We create tailored digital marketing strategies that deliver results. On your next campaign, aim higher. Go to aimyourdigital.com and get started today. aimyourdigital.com.
Check out Whitey and Watkins now on YouTube. Search Sactown Sports and watch the show from your desk.
Hey, real quick before we bring in our special crossover guests, here's the deal, Chris Watkins. Okay. Anthony Edwards has been fined $50,000 by the NBA for swinging a folding chair that struck two bystanders at the conclusion of Minnesota's game at Denver, or their loss to the Nuggets on April 25th. And the ruling was announced today.
Remember
that? He was mad. He comes off.
Oh, that's right.
The chair.
Yeah.
And apparently hit two people. And today,
the weakest
the NBA
thing.
is announcing that, $50,000.
At a time where the man is serving our country.
I know. Oh my goodness, that's
wrong.
such a great point.
Yeah,
That's such
J
a
Mars and FPG.
Hey!
For the crossover.
What's up, guys?
How's it going, gentlemen?
It's going well.
We've just been yelling at the TV in the Little League.
A lot of Little League World Series anger happening.
Good.
on
They
this
deserve
side.
it. How
They
dare
do,
they?
man. I'm telling you. Sorry. My bad.
I don't know how you feel. Your dad feels. I just yell at him like, throw a fastball.
Yeah.
12 years old.
Well, now you're going to bring up some trauma for me. But yes, what I did. I'll tell you what, when I was 12 years old, it is good parenting at the end of the day. And I did learn a lot of lessons. But my dad was the guy that went 100% no matter what age I was. And he would throw as hard as he could on a crow hop from center field to home plate. He'd be like, catch the ball. Let's go.
Your hands just broken.
And my hand's I'm like, Dad, this is not fun. And he's like, I don't care. No, he was a good father, and it's good. It's
Tried
good.
to kill you from the outfield.
Yeah.
Hey,
No, but I'll
great
tell you
dad.
what, though, when I got older, though, I was like, when kids
These
are
are
actually
nothing,
throwing
right?
hard, I was like, this is nothing.
Yeah.
So it helped me a lot, like track fastballs and all that stuff. I mean, I wasn't very good in junior college, but at the end of the day, it still helps. So all these lessons these kids are learning, it's very good. Did you guys see the one yesterday, the team popping off, and they were celebrating, and they did the whole, tapped on home plate after a grand slam, and everybody jumped up in the air, and then they ended up losing the game, and they threw their helmets, and like, dang it, we lost. I was like, oh, the baseball gods are watching you guys.
Yeah.
See, those are the kids I like to laugh at. Loser.
Yeah.
Well, they learned the hard way. You can't
Exactly.
showboat in Little League Baseball because you just never know. It could
Until
be
it's over.
8-2,
Yeah.
and they'll come back and win.
J Mars and FP Jr. with Ohtani getting ready to face the Giants. Well, and
Oh,
I know
man.
you're a Dodger
I
fan,
know.
and I would bet money's
Now,
going to the Dodgers.
why
but-
does that have to be a precursor?
Well, because I know where you want Ohtani to go, but looking big picture, what do you think would be the best result for baseball? Where would be the best
For
destination?
baseball, the
Yeah.
Yankees. The Yankees. The Yankees for baseball.
Why? You want baseball fans to hate him?
Yes, that would be, people
People do love a villain.
people is at it, or baseball's at its best when the Yankees are good and we all hate them, right?
I understand that view. I don't want to agree with it, but I don't have a better.
Yeah, but you don't want to hate Ohtani. Why would you want to hate
He's such a
Ohtani?
good guy, and
Is he? How do we know
Yankees-
that?
like,
How do we know
Can't
that?
he be like the
polite.
Klay Thompson that just elevates above all
Alex
the hate?
Rodriguez, perfect example of yes, he should play for the Yankees because
Yeah.
we hate him and we hate the Yankees.
Okay, and I agree. But when you talk about baseball, who at this point is clawing for
support.
eyeballs onto their
And
product.
And eyeballs.
Yes, and eyeballs. Like
Agree,
that
agree,
to
agree.
me for Major League Baseball, if I am
I understand that. I don't want to see
I agree
that.
with you.
I don't
understand
know.
where you're going.
I'm saying no, but you asked the question, what's
Well,
best for baseball?
Of course.
I think it's the Yankees.
Yeah.
It's wherever he's going to go to win. Honestly, the more rings that Ohtani has, or the more times he's in the playoffs, it's going to be beneficial for the sport and everybody. Like, he's that big of a player that he's like Babe Ruth. When Babe Ruth first got that super big contract and he got that star power,
Like
that was
$80,000 worth.
yeah,
That massive.
that transcended
And all
baseball.
the hot dogs you can eat.
Yes.
Exactly.
And beer.
But
Lot of beer.
if Ohtani can win anywhere he goes, okay, now we're talking about I got to watch Ohtani play, and I don't even like baseball.
Mhm.
So he needs to go on a team where he's going to win. And that's where it is at the end of the day. Whether that's the Giants, Dodgers, whatever, he's just got to go somewhere where he's going to win.
I think he would have gone to the Dodgers already. I think he went to the Angels because it was close to the Dodgers and they didn't have the DH yet. I think he's always wanted to be a Dodger. I hope he doesn't go there, but I think it's almost inevitable that he ends up there.
We'll see. I think the Giants are really going to push hard. I've been saying that the Giants should give him or the city of San Francisco rather should give him a whole district, or just name the Golden Gate Bridge after him, or something ridiculous. Yeah. Are you kidding me?
They call it the DO.
Yeah, turn Japantown into Ohtani Town or something. You know what I mean? It's got to be. They got to go all out if they really want to compete with the Dodgers here, and it's going to be tough because do I want to go play with Freddie Freeman and Mookie Betts in the lineup, or do I want to go play with Wilmer Flores and a whole bunch of Michael Conforto? Well, nothing against Conforto, those guys.
Michael Conforto guys, a great point.
Yeah, nothing against those guys. Or do you want to play with a bunch of young kids? Because that's what the Giants are going to be. They're going to be a young team for a little while that are going to have to figure some stuff out. But you have Logan Webb there. You have Alex Cobb that may or may not return, and maybe they'll go get another arm. But who knows? It really comes down to that at the end of the day. I think Ohtani wants to win now. But if the Giants can put together a package for Ohtani that's almost undeniable, stranger things have happened.
Yeah, I still think he's going to your team.
Yeah, I do too.
Give me a Dodger hat, Jay.
Okay.
If it happens.
Will you join?
He already said he would today.
Oh,
he said,
my God.
And then he tried to walk it back a little bit.
My God.
Yeah.
I will be driving the bandwagon to his house to pick him up.
Yeah. He
Absolutely
tried to moonwalk
ridiculous.
a little bit, but he did say, he said, well,
I would have to heavily consider.
Chris, you've been rooting. He's been rooting for the Kings and the Vikings his whole life. He deserves to root for a premium franchise.
That's what I said.
And why do you? What was your selling point to us, Chris, when we said you shouldn't be a Dodgers fan?
I mean, yeah, that traditionally my teams end up sucking. So actually, if you don't like the Dodgers,
Hey, I'm gonna go ahead and
you
not
should
blame
blame
you
me
for
too.
that.
I don't know, man. I tried to not blame myself either, and after a while, I'm the only common denominator. So I have to only blame myself. I mean, it's the Kings, it's the Vikings, it's Manchester United. It don't matter, man. I'm cursed.
You know what I finally realized about Ohtani, and this is stupid, but I I thought, well, he's a DH and he's a pitcher. He doesn't even play in the field. But then I realized he'd probably be a really good center fielder, right?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, he can do anything
if he wanted to. And he just doesn't
probably
wanna
is
make
the best
throw.
baseball player ever.
Yeah.
I mean,
So it's not that he can. He just doesn't. He'd rather
He chooses not to.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah,
He's
save his
that-
little luxury.
He's that good.
Oh,
Yeah.
he had the conversation. Hey, don't steal bases. Even though he's got 15 this year, right? They tell him, don't steal bases. We don't want you to get hurt, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the season if you get hurt.
Yeah. It's incredible.
Yeah, well,
He's a gamer.
for the Angels, it's the season if he's healthy.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Well, J. Mars, what do you guys have coming up?
Speaking of the Giants and Ohtani, Laura Britt from NBC Sports California will join us at 4 o'clock, and the legendary Frankie Cardicelli at 3:30 to talk
Never heard of
about
him.
the
This guy's a
battle
legend.
of the Kings big men
Oh boy,
with the
real competition.
Jimmy Queta signing it all. We'll get Frankie's thoughts on that. Who could be third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh center? I think that's how many they got on the team.
We've been all around on that today and basically ended up in a spot. Well, it's not bad, so I guess it's good.
Right.
Yeah.
Isn't that kind of where we always still are with the Kings? If it's not bad, it's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
All right. J. Mars FP Jr. coming up next right here. We'll talk to you tomorrow on Sactown Sports.
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
The only other one, I was at a River Cats game.